Alright, hello. Welcome to Minus Bros Wrapped 2024. This is a rebrand of my every game that I played in blank year thing that I've been doing for the past 2 or 3 years. I'm just deciding I'm gonna rebrand it as Minus Bros Wrapped because that's like a funny word that all the big companies are using right now. You know, like Spotify Wrapped, Reddit Wrapped, YouTube Wrapped, whatever else there is. I don't know, but I'm just gonna use that because it makes it really simple. It's better than saying like every game that I played this year. Yeah. And plus, it's not about every game that I played. It's about every game that we played on the channel, which includes games that my friends played too. So, just get ready. There's going to be like probably a 3 to 4 hour stream. Who knows? Because I have a lot to say and a lot to talk about. That's usually how these go. But that's really all it is. There's going to be like 3 to 4 segments or so, which I'll probably timestamp later on YouTube. So there's going to be the games that I played specifically, like games that I either played by myself or I played for other people. Basically, it's only me playing and nobody else usually most of the time. Then there's going to be the party games section, which is basically where we play stuff as a group together, and usually it's stuff that doesn't have like an end or anything. So, games like Mario Party or Jackbox, those are like party games. We played a lot of those this year, so I figured they'd get their own category. There's also the ongoing games category, which we'll probably talk at the end. Basically, games that I started this year, but I haven't finished yet. And they might be games that I plan to finish too. It really depends. There's also the canceled section, which is probably going to be pretty short. Yes, I'm doing a wrap. Does that be crazy? The canceled series is basically like series that we just gave up on and we never finished. There's not too many of those, but there is still a decent amount that I figured I'd talk about and maybe explain why we canceled those series. There's the miscellaneous, just for random games I didn't know what to put in a category. And then there's the category of games that my friends played. And that's where I'll probably put that somewhere in the middle. I'm not sure. So yeah, I'll try my best to, make this enjoyable to watch. So I'll start off with the games that I did play this year. I'm gonna try and go in order, but I think I messed up some of these, the order of some of these. It's generally the order of when I started the game, and not so much when I finished it. So yeah, I'll try my best. So we're gonna start off with a big one. We got the Mario RPG remake. I don't really know how I want to display these. They're just kind of there. So the Mario RPG remake, I think, was something I actually started in 2023, but I didn't finish it until 2024. So that's going to be a lot of the early games. It's going to be games that I started and then finished in 2024. But what can I say about Mario RPG remake that I haven't already said? This game's freaking fantastic. I mean, I love Mario RPG a lot. I played the SNES one so much growing up that it's just like muscle memory. And getting to play the remake was just a very surreal experience because I never thought they'd even remake this game to begin with. And I think the thing I really like about this remake though is the post game stuff because they added a bunch of super bosses you can fight. And I feel like a post game is something that Mario RPG was really lacking in. And that's something that I've always wanted to see. I've always wanted to see, like, okay, what if we have something to do after you beat Smithy, you know? And that's basically what this remake does. And I'm really glad about that. And I've talked about this before, but I think this remake is way more faithful than the Thousand Year Door remake. And I still agree with that statement. Like, there's so much more of this game that they just kept, true to the original. And that's exactly what I want to see from a remake. But we'll get to the TTYD remake eventually. That's gonna be later in the list. But yeah, that's Mario RPG remake. I really recommend this game if you haven't played it. Although personally, I'd say play the SNES version first, and then maybe play the remake if you still want more. But that's just me. Most people are probably gonna play the remake though because that's the most easily accessible one. So yeah. We also played Danganronpa. Oh, this is a really low quality image. So, as you know right now, me and my girlfriend are playing through Danganronpa 2, but we did finish Danganronpa 1 this year as well. And, you know, I've always known about Danganronpa, like, I think since, like, 2015 or something. And I've always been, like, kind of nervous to go back to it because of, like, the gritty themes and stuff, but after playing it, it's not as gritty as I thought. It's actually a lot more lighthearted than I thought, but it can still be pretty serious at times. And overall, I've just gotten, like, way more into visual novels as of late, thanks to, like, Neptunia, and also me playing Great Ace Attorney and stuff. So I can kind of appreciate Danganronpa a bit more, because I think back then, when I saw Danganronpa, I was just like, oh, there's too much dialogue and not enough trials, because that's why I liked about Ace Attorney so much, is because of all the trials. And yeah, Danganronpa does have trials, it's just, there's only one trial instead of multiple. And maybe it's just because I've kind of become numb to, like, the length of games. But, like, this game isn't as long as I remember either. Like, it only took me, what, like, 20 to 25 hours? I think? It's either on the 20-hour side or the 40-hour side, I don't remember. I think it took us, like, 20 episodes, so probably around 40, 50 hours, but for me, 40, 50 hours is not that long anymore. It's a pretty, like, that's a pretty, like, average runtime for a game. So, I'm pretty glad about that. And yeah, it's just nice to play one of my girlfriend's favorite series as well, because I've always truthfully wanted to play Danganronpa myself, because I always saw other YouTubers playing it, and I was like, man, it looks like a fighting game. Yeah, the characters are awesome. I loved all the characters. Well, most of them. Some of the characters are pretty one-note. They don't really get a lot of screen time. That's just kind of how it goes. Like, some people die, and they don't show up as much. But, when you get to, like, Chapter 3 or something, like, halfway through the game, there's, like, those characters you really get attached to. You know, for me, my personal favorite characters were probably, like, Kyoko and some of the other girls, and then Byakuya's cool. And also Monokuma's a very endearing character. You know, he's not as much of an evil asshat as I thought. He's more like a troll. He's like a little shit, but you love him anyways, even though he's like, you know, killing people. I don't know, it's one of those things. It's where the villains are really likable. And it's the same for the second game too. Monokuma's like even more of a dork in the second game. I mean, it makes sense. He's the mascot of the series. You know, he's got to be lovable. So yeah, I really love this game. The music's fire. Love the soundtrack. I have a few of the songs on my playlist. And yeah, I'm also really happy to be playing the second one. That's probably going to be a game we finish in 2025 because we're only on case 3 right now. So it'll probably be until like I'd say like halfway through 2025 we might finish that game. I don't know. We'll see. Depends at the pace I go at. So next up, me and Jose played Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. Which is funny because we actually started Donkey Kong Country 2 in December. But I figure I'll talk about this one because we kind of finished it up in January of this year. Or I guess 2024, I should say. And it's really funny because I've never beaten Donkey Kong Country prior to that. I got close. Like, I had this game on Virtual Console back in the Wii days. I got to the 5th world and I never got past it. I just never went back to it. And I mean, back then I was like pretty shit at games, so Donkey Kong Country felt kind of difficult to me. But nowadays I'm thinking like, Donkey Kong Country is not hard. It's not difficult. It's just you gotta learn, you gotta get used to the physics, and you gotta adapt to that. And DKC 2 is gonna be fun. Me and Jose are gonna play more of that in 2025. And we're gonna try and 100% the game, which is gonna be a lot harder, because 100%ing DKC is it's more trouble than it's worth sometimes. Thankfully, this game, you don't really have to 100%. Like, you can get all the secrets and stuff, but you don't really get anything, unlike in the sequels. So that's why we decided we're just gonna beat the game, and it only took us 3 parts. DKC 2 is probably gonna be a lot longer than that. And I just find it funny, because we're playing DKC 2 at a time where the completionist is, like, going through some frickin' drama and shit, and that's, like, his favorite game. I know, I gotta bring up the frickin' completionist at a time like this. I always like to, you know, poke fun at that whole charity fraud thing, but that's not the point. DKC is the point. But that's 2 Donkey Kong Country games under my belt now, because we played Returns with Goncito a few years back, and then me and Jose, we beat the SNES one. So, you know, next up is, you know, DKC 2, and eventually I'd like to try and get back to playing Tropical Freeze with Goncito. That'll be on the ongoing games list. So, yeah. Anyways, that's DKC. I think that game was pretty fun, honestly. Alright, hey, guess what? Here's another game I wasn't expecting to see on this list. Newer Super Mario Bros. Wii. Yeah, we actually started this game all the way back in 2022. And we took, like, a big-ass break from it because I was trying my hardest to finish this game with Goncito, but he got busy, and I didn't want to wait for his ass the whole time. So, when we got to, like, World 7 or something, we just said, like, fuck it. We're gonna, like, just say, like, Goncito, I know you're not free much, so we're just gonna, like, kick you out of the series, which he was perfectly cool with, because he was busy, and he doesn't seem that interested in this game, but when he was here, it was really fun, and then once we got to, like, World 7, we just started inviting, like, whoever. You know, usually we'd have Aaron and Seb, and sometimes we'd invite Elijah, Sosuke, Dorian. Actually, I don't think Dorian had his PC yet, so never mind. But yeah, we invited a bunch of people for the end game, and it was really fun playing this because it gave a big breath of fresh air for the new Super Mario Bros. Series, because, you know, we played New Super Mario Bros. Wii twice on the channel, and haven't really done much else besides that in the DS one. So, newer Super Mario Bros. Wii, it felt like a big, grand adventure, because it took us, like, how many episodes to beat it? Like, 9 or 10 or something? It took a while. More than the Wii game, the regular Wii. And, I'm just really glad I got to play this hack finally, because I've heard about this game probably for, like, the past 10 years, and I've always wanted to play it. And it was just kind of a happenstance that me and Goncito decided to play it, and it eventually just turned into, like, let's invite everybody to play this amazing ROM hack. And we might do more of that. I mean, you've already kind of seen it with me and Matteo playing Mario 3 Mix, you know? Just inviting my friends to play, like, Mario ROM hacks that I've never played before. That's, like, kind of a cool new thing I'm thinking about trying out more often. But yeah, newer Super Mario Bros. Wii was very fun. It was also nice getting to play it with 4 players, because not everybody does that. You know, not everybody can get 4 players to play a new Super Mario Bros. Game with. And who knows, maybe one of these days, one of these years, who knows, we might play new Super Mario Bros. U, because I could probably emulate that now. Well, I don't know. I might wait for my graphics card upgrade before I play that, which probably won't be for a few years, I want to say. But if I do get a graphics card upgrade, I'd love to play New Super Mario Bros. U on, like, Parsec and stuff and CMU, and that'd be pretty nice. Because I don't want to play the Switch version. I've already gone on about how much I fucking hate the Switch port of New Super Mario Bros. U. Yeah, fuck that version. But that's whatever. I'm not gonna complain too much. Alright, at the start of January, I played Wario Land 2. I actually played 3 Wario games this year, which is kind of wild. I don't usually play that many. But this was after the year I played Wario Land 3, which I really love. That's my second favorite Wario game now. Shake It's still my favorite because of nostalgia bias, but new Wario games that I've played-wise, Wario Land 3 is probably my second favorite now, but Wario Land 2 was also really good because I came straight fresh from Wario Land 3, so jumping into Wario Land 2 just felt really comfortable, you know? because it has like the same controls, it has the same Wario sprite, all the transformations and stuff. It's just more level-based than exploration-based this time around. But I did really like, you know, the aspect of hunting treasures, like in Wario Land 1. But I also really liked the secret exits. The secret exits were really cool. It's interesting. Wario Land 2, it kind of feels like it kind of feels like they had some ideas from Wario Land 1 they wanted to keep, but they wanted to kind of expand, and that's some of the stuff that they bring over to Wario Land 3. And then Wario Land 3 would just overall ditch all the Wario Land 1 stuff and keep the good stuff from Wario Land 2. I don't know, but I really loved 100%ing this game, because if you 100% this game, you get like a crazy-ass final level that like is just like an acid trip, and it's really cool. I definitely recommend 100%ing this game if you can. It took me a while. I think it took me like 20 hours maybe to 100%. I don't know. I could probably double check. Because I have Wario Land 2. Did I spell it as Wario Land 2? Yeah, I did. It took me 8 episodes, each being about an hour to an hour and a half. So that's like, I think around like 10 to 15-ish hours. But it's still decently length. Not as long as Wario Land 3, but it was still a pretty lengthy game, and I enjoyed that, honestly. So, yeah, that's Wario Land 2. Great way to start off January, honestly. Alright, here's another game. We started this back in 2023, but me and Desmond, we played Terraria together. This was my first time playing Terraria. And again, it's another one of those games I've always heard about and wanted to get into, but I'm honestly glad I didn't play it by myself, because I would have sucked complete ass at it. And I'm really glad that I had, like, Desmond backseat a lot of the time, so I could figure out what the hell I needed to do. And it was also really fun to just play that game co-op, because we got to work together, we got to grind for materials together, we got to beat bosses together. It was really fun. I honestly really, when I got, like, really into Terraria, I always looked forward to that shit, like, every week. I was like, every Thursday, I was like, oh, hell yeah, it's Terraria night. And this isn't gonna be the end of Terraria on the channel, probably, because we're going to probably be playing Terraria with mods sometime in the future. I don't know, it could be this year, could be next year, who knows. It's just right now, me and Desmond are doing Resident Evil 6, so Terraria is kind of taking a backseat, but I think when we finish RE6, we might do Terraria. Again, I don't know. Because I talked to Porter, and Porter also plays Terraria with his brother. So if we could get, like, 4-player Terraria, that would be really fun. And who knows, maybe other people that want to hop on Terraria. I think that'd be pretty fun. So either way, I really enjoyed it. It's not as much of a Minecraft clone as I thought it was. It's like, just because it has crafting and mining and stuff doesn't mean it's automatically Minecraft, because it had a lot of, like, I think what I really liked about Terraria is it wasn't afraid to get all, like, biblical and, like, gory and stuff. And I usually am not the biggest fan of that stuff, but I really fucked with it, honestly. Terraria was a really fun experience, and I'm glad I have it, because I might play it again in the future. We might do a different world. I think we did, like, what, the Corruption? And sometime we might do the Crimson instead. I think that's what it is, the Crimson and the Corruption. Here's another game we played this year. We played Bowser's Inside Story with the Boys, as I called the series. Here, let me just make it a little smaller. It's really funny, because Chaka Conroy played through this game recently. And it was nice watching a game that I'm actually familiar with. Because I recently finished the DS version of this game this year, in 2024. I guess I should stop saying this year or next year, because it's going to get confusing, but 2024, me and the boys, we played Bowser's Inside Story for the DS. Now, I played the 3DS remake back in 2020, which is, I think it was 2020, or 2021, I'm not too sure. It was a while ago. But I remember thinking, like, huh, the 3DS version's not bad. And then I played the DS version, I'm like, oh god, this is way better than the 3DS version. Because I didn't find out until, like, a few years after I played the 3DS version. The 3DS version has performance problems. It runs at 30 FPS, it's slower, it cuts out a lot of shit, it's not fun, as I thought. And so playing the DS version, it was really refreshing because I played with the challenge medal, which is something that's not technically in the 3DS version. It is, but there's something called the challenge medal, but it doesn't do the same thing. It doesn't provide a hard mode like I did in Bowser's Inside Story on the DS. And it was also really fun because Seb, and Aaron have been doing a lot of series together recently. We keep playing, you know, three-way shit, which is really fun. Oh yeah, right. That's right. Bowser's Inside Story initially started out as a four-way thing between me, Seb, Aaron, and Jose. But Jose, that's kind of around the time Jose stopped, like, being friendly with us. He kind of, like, ostracized himself from our group for some reason, and to this day, I still don't fucking know why. He just is like, ooh, I don't get along with everybody, and it's like, whatever, we're welcoming you, but you just choose not to hang out with us. So, whatever. That's the thing that annoys me about some of my friends is, you know, I'm always welcoming them, and I always say, like, hey, you should join Goncito so we can all hang out together as a big group, and then they're just like, nah, I don't wanna. And they just say, like, fuck that, so that's kind of why I just have a bunch of, I just kind of have a bunch of different friend groups because of obligatory reasons. It's kind of annoying, but what can you do, I guess. But enough of that. It was really fun playing with the challenge medal because I feel like the remake was too easy. I feel like Mario & Luigi, it's not very often that it's actually that challenging. And it was refreshing getting to play a Mario & Luigi that actually challenged me because I'm not that familiar with Bowser's Inside Story to begin with. Because I played the DS original when I was like 6 years old, didn't get very far, and then I played the 3DS remake. Hey, if you come back, that'd be cool. You know, it's less limiting because I don't have to make separate group DMs and stuff. The only thing it's only inconveniencing me more than anything when people say like, nah, I'm not gonna join Goncitos. And I would love to see Jose get back with our group again. I'd love to see him hang out with like Zach and Seb and Elijah and all that. It'd be nice. But oh well. Anyways, I did 100% this game as much as I could. Well, I wouldn't say 100%, but I did get to Rainbow Rank and I beat the X-bosses, which is honestly all I care about. Fuck the Attack-a-thon stuff, that's not fun. You saw how long it took Chug Conroy to do those. Hell no, I'm not doing that, and on frickin' emulator too, that's even less fun. But I've talked enough about this, but just know that Bowser's Inside Story was very fun. Anyways, I figured I'd throw this game on here, even though I didn't really play much of it. I did try out Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, and I didn't really like it that much, honestly. I tried it out, I sucked ass at it, and I said, like, nah, I'm not really feeling Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, honestly. It's definitely one of those games where it's kind of its time. And if you just didn't play it back then and you find it really hard to get back into old games, yeah, you're not getting into this game. And that's how I feel about it. I want to get into the Star Fox series really badly, but this SNES one just isn't doing it for me. So I played it once for like a couple hours, and I felt like, yeah, alright, I got to play Star Fox, and I just kind of passed it off and never went back to it. I think I said I was going to go back to it, and I just never did. So, suffice to say, if I ever say I'm going to go back to something, I'm probably not going to go back to it. I'm just, like, talking out my ass, because I want to, because deep down, I want to give it a second chance and like it, but I know that's just not possible for every game that I play. There are games, like, I guess this could be considered a canceled game, but I wasn't sure if I considered it canceled or not, but sure. Here's another game we played this year. Me and Jose, we played Sonic Advance 2, which is kind of a mixed game for me, honestly, because it was kind of frustrating, honestly. Mostly the bosses. The bosses, like, frustrated the shit out of me in the second half of the game, because of the fact that every boss in this game is like you're running towards the boss. And if you get hit, you get like sent all the way to the opposite side of the screen. But I did play Advance 1, and I really loved that game, so I was thinking I'd enjoy Advance 2. And there are things I really love about this game. Like, I love the fact that there's multiple characters and stuff to pick from. And the special stages are also way easier than the first game. It's just, I didn't even bother going out of my way to unlock them. I just used the cheat code to unlock all of them, because you have to collect like 8 red rings in a stage to even be like have a shot at playing the special stages. And overall, Advance 2 is just like, it can be fun if you're playing it casually, but if you're trying to get everything, it's not fun. And me and Jose were just not having the greatest time with this game. So much so that there's an episode that I have not even uploaded of this game, because it was so controversial and just not fun that I was just like, I'm not even uploading this. And plus, there's also a bunch of like stuff in that video that YouTube wouldn't like, so I'm just not even gonna bother uploading it. It's on Twitch somewhere probably, but yeah, I'm not uploading that for the sake of my channel. But Advance 2 was okay. I don't think me and Jose are gonna race Advance 3 though. I might play that on my own, because Advance 2 is just really stressful. So definitely one of my least favorite games I played this in 2024. But let's talk about a game that I did enjoy, which is Persona 3 Reload. Fucking fantastic game, I gotta say. I mean, I love Persona 3 as much as the next guy. And I played Persona 3 back in 2019, I believe. So it's actually been 5 years since I played Persona 3. And I played the FES version, and then a few months later, I played Portable. Android-ass quality. But yeah, they don't always that good quality for all the images. But, I honestly was kind of in that, I don't know if I'd say minority or majority. I was in that group of people who said, like, Persona 3 doesn't need a remake. And I personally didn't want a Persona 3 remake at first, but once it got announced and it turned out it was real, I was like, alright, I'm down. I'm really down for Persona 3 getting remade. Because the way I saw it back in the day, back in like 2020, was like, imagine if we had Persona 3 running in the Persona 5 engine. And that's basically what we got, except it's even better because it's... The Persona 5 engine's actually really outdated now because it's a PS3 game. Oh yeah, Zeppy, you're playing Persona 3 Reload, and Jose's also playing Reload, so you guys are both playing that shit. Yeah, so my story with Persona 3, like I was saying, is I played Portable after I played FES. So I played both versions, and I didn't play The Answer. I actually didn't play that, because I was like, it's just battling. It's got no sim stuff. So at the time, I didn't think that'd be very fun. Oh, and if I take any breaks, it's because I'm sipping some tea. So, I just didn't play The Answer. And then when I got around to playing Persona 2 a few years ago, I started to get more into the idea of just playing a Persona game for the battling. And that's kind of what piqued my interest in going back to The Answer, because now that I'm just kind of accepting the fact that battles are actually a lot more fun than I thought, I wouldn't be against playing it. And before The Answer got announced for Reload, I actually thought about downloading FES again and playing The Answer with the controllable party mod. Kind of glad I didn't do that, and I'm kind of glad I just waited on The Answer coming out for Reload. But we'll get to that. I think I did, what, like 24 episodes on Reload? But they were like pretty long episodes, I think. I don't know how many episodes I did, but it was quite a while. It was quite long. Some episodes would range to like 3 to 4 hours, depending on how I felt. But, Persona 3 Reload's like an 80-hour game or so, I think. It's like around 80, 90 hours. And for me, that's like normal, because I spent that much time on Persona 5 Royal, so like I'm used to it. And it's funny, because Persona 5 Royal is still the longest game I've ever played on my channel. I don't think anything's gonna beat that anytime soon. Which is really funny. And I'm talking about, like, just a single game that you can complete. I'm not talking about, like, ongoing stuff like Trash or Cookie Clicker or whatever. But, yeah. I really loved what they did with the battle system in Reload. That's what made it so fun. I really grew to like the characters, what they did with the characters, and the cast and all that. I think they did a really good job. And I'm honestly I'm not miffed at all about what they did, because I think it sounds pretty good. It's like, maybe there's a few things they censored or removed that I'm not happy about, but those are like nitpicks at that point. And all the new stuff is like really nice, like the theurgies and stuff, even though they're kind of OP. But the fact that they are OP is kind of what made the game so fun, because you can just like save up theurgies, spam them against bosses, and win in like one turn, which is hilarious that you can do that, because you cannot do that in FES. So, yeah. But what else? I mean, I think it was like 6 or 7 months later, The Answer came out, and I also played through all of that in a month. By the way, I played Reload in an entire month. It took me a month to beat that game, because I, like, no life to the hell out of that game, and I think that's one of the few times I did that this year. The second time was with Mario & Luigi Brothership and TTYD Remake. Okay, so 3 times. There's only 3 times this year that I no life the game, and that's... On one hand, I don't feel that good about it, but on the other hand, it feels nice to just, like, play a game so much and get really into it. It's a feeling that I don't have very often. Like, the last time I really felt that way was when I played Persona 5 Royal back in 2020, where I just played that game non-stop for 2 months, and it was pretty fun. So, yeah. I enjoyed playing Reload because I played it on... Well, actually, the only reason I know life to this game is because I played it on Game Pass, and since I wanted to, you know, only use 1 month of Game Pass, I just, like, played the shit out of the game for a month, just so I could beat it. I mean, if you pay, like, you know, $100 on Steam for it, like most people probably will, you don't have to worry about that. But I only paid like $25 for this game, and then I paid another $25 to play The Answer. So I only paid like half the price for this game that you're supposed to pay, and I'm kind of glad I did it that way, because, you know, now I beat it, and I came out, you know, not having to pay as much for it. So, yeah, pretty nice. And that's the last game I played on my Xbox, because now I don't really touch my Xbox anymore. The only time I'm really going to touch my Xbox is if I want to play a very, very specific game, you know, like Xbox exclusives or something. Probably an example of that would be like Sonic Unleashed. I want to play Sonic Unleashed on my Xbox. That's one game I might get on there. And maybe also the Banjo-Kazooie games. Those are the only other games I can really think of I want on Xbox. But yeah, that's Persona 3 Reload. I really enjoyed playing this game. So, that's that. Alright, next up, honestly, I don't really know why this is on here. Also, this is some low-ass quality. I finished Find Me 2 this year. I think there was like 1 episode this year in 2024, and that's it. But I guess I might as well talk about it just a tiny bit. Because, I think, like, eventually I got sick of grinding for play coins in this game. So I remember I just ended up hacking them in and playing the game like that. And it was much more enjoyable. There's not really too much to be said about Find Me, though. I think I talked about it in 2023. And it's just more of a nostalgia game that I wanted to revisit. And it also gave me an excuse to see if I can capture footage from my 2DS. Let's just say that did not go very well, because having to set that shit up is annoying. Because I had to plug, like, a headphone jack into my DS, into my computer, and it's weird. And sometimes my audio drivers would just kill themselves, and I wouldn't be able to play this game because I couldn't hear shit. So I had to put this game on hiatus just because of my audio drivers fucking up, and whenever they would miraculously come back one day, I'll be like, oh wait, I can play Find Me again. Which is really funny. But, I don't really have much else to say about that. It's just fun. Alright, I don't know why this one has it's kind of cropped weird. There. So here is Kirby's Revenge of Dreamland. Or sorry, no, it's just Kirby Revenge of Dreamland. It's not Kirby's. You know, the Kirby's is not included. This is a ROM hack of Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which is a game that I hold very dear to me. Because personally, I find Return to Dreamland too easy now. So, Revenge of Dreamland was like a really fresh take on it. And it's also a game that me and Jordan played together. I think it's like one of the first series me and Jordan ever did together. That's kind of just a thing we did, like, me and him did this year. We played a shit ton of games together. We'd have, like, co-op series and stuff. And I think Revenge of Dreamland is... Yeah, Revenge of Dreamland is the first one we did together, I think. At least as a team, a co-op of 2. And I don't remember if he ever played Return to Dreamland before. So it's kind of funny because it's just like a big difficulty spike hack, and it's still pretty refreshing take because it doesn't just make things like do more damage. Like it mixes up the levels, gives bosses new attacks and stuff, and it was really fun to revisit Return to Dreamland, not only with 2 players but also with like a very hard twist on the game. And the only thing I'm sad about Revenge of Dreamland is that it doesn't have an extra mode. But with how hard the game is, I honestly don't blame it. Because even the frickin' True Arena was like a pain in the ass. We had to use save states in that shit because of how hard it was. Which is not something we did in Magal or Epilogue, which we'll get to at the very end of this list. And someday I would like to go back to Return to Dreamland again and do like a 3rd/4th playthrough of it, where we do it with 4 players and we play on like, you know, extra mode or something. I think that'd be pretty fun. So, yeah. Anyways, next game is another game I hold very dear to me. Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Switch, the remake. Now, I played Mario vs. Donkey Kong, I want to say, like, back in 2022? So it is really funny that they decided to remake a game that I played, like, not too long ago. And my story with Mario vs. Donkey Kong is I first played the original back in 2019. I played it on my new computer on Visual Boy, I believe. And that was the first time I ever played it. And, oh man, that game frustrated the shit out of me. But it was so fun and so worth it to play through. It's one of those games where, like, you get so fucking pissed off at it, but once you beat it, you're just so satisfied. And that's... Sometimes, it's not very often games give you that kind of feeling, and then you just end up loving the game more because of it. But yeah, I was not expecting Nintendo to acknowledge Mario vs. Donkey Kong, let alone the original style. Like, I thought if they brought Mario vs. Donkey Kong back, they'd just do, like, a mini Mario game again. But no, they're actually giving, you know, the original formula a shot again after, what, like 20 years? Which is insane to me. And I'm just really happy that this series might actually have a chance of coming back. I'm really hoping, the team that made this, I'm really hoping they make a sequel. I want there to be a sequel so badly, so we can get a brand new Mario vs. Donkey Kong game, because we have not gotten one in like 8 or 9 years. And honestly, I don't even know if I want to play that fucking shitty Mini Mario and Friends Tap Amiibo game. Yeah, I would die. No, my fucking Twitch is dying. Uh-oh. Okay, no, it's fine. My Twitch, like, shut down for a second there. Hey, speaking of Mario vs. Donkey Kong music, we got some of that playing. Yeah, I'm really happy that, I think it's... What is the dev team that made Mario vs. Donkey Kong? I think it's just, like, Nintendo R&D or something, right? What is it? Who made Mario vs. Donkey Kong? Nintendo Software Technology. Yeah, they're an American division of Nintendo, and they're the ones who worked on Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I don't know, I might play the shitty Amiibo game someday though, just to complete the Mario and Donkey Kong anthology on my channel. Because I think with Tiramisu on my Wii U, I could probably like hack in some amiibos and play it that way, so we can actually play the game the way it was meant to be played, and not have to go out and find a bunch of scalped amiibos for like thousands of dollars. So yeah. There's also another Mario vs. Donkey Kong game I want to play called Minis on the Move, which is a 3DS eShop exclusive that I could probably find and boot up. That one I also have mixed feelings on, but now that I'm better at puzzles and stuff, and I'm just better at games in general, I might give that game another try, because I'd love to play that again. I heard a lot of people actually liked that one. Especially with how different it was, because it's kind of a spin-off. It's a spin-off of a spin-off. It's a spin-off of the Mini Mario formula, which is already a spin-off of Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I don't know. It's got, like, full level designs and stuff, so I still want to give it a chance. But anyways, enough about that. The remake. The remake was so good. The physics felt pretty much identical to the original, mostly adding, like, quality of life stuff, like, I think, like, Mario just, like, he's not as, like, slippery, and he's more responsive. Although I do still think it's a bit of a shame that we lost some of the quote-unquote not quality of things that made the game harder. Like, I miss there being fall damage. You can't die from falling anymore in this game. And also just, like, I think the checkpoints are less forgivable, or they're more forgiving in the remake. I mean, I don't know. I like how hard the original is, but I really wish like I said, I really wish that they didn't, like, babify the game, or babify. They made it too easy, even on the normal difficulty. And then there's an even easier mode for some reason. Like, why couldn't we have a classic legacy difficulty or something? Yeah, like, it's not a bad thing that it's easier, because the remake adds a lot of new content, because there's technically 4 new worlds in the remake, because the game introduces an ice world and a circus world. And those are really fresh world ideas, because there was no ice at all in the original. So having ice physics in the remake is really cool, because there is ice in Donkey Kong 94, so it's kind of a callback to that. And then the circus world is kind of a callback to Miniland Mayhem, so that's pretty cool. And then, you know, there's the plus worlds, so the circus and ice worlds get new versions at nighttime, which is also really cool. So you get a total of, like, 16 new levels. So there's well, actually, I think it's 20 new levels, actually, because there's the bonus world, too. So, yeah. Oh, speaking of Miniland Mayhem, I'm gonna play that in 2025. That's one of my games planned for that year. So, yeah. But I really loved playing this remake, and it's also really fun to 100% because there's also time trials. And the time trials kind of give that, they kind of give that feeling of something that was missing in the original. Because in the original, gold stars, you only get, gold stars are, like, super strict, and you have to beat the timer and stuff. But you get a gold star regardless in the remake, as long as you get all the presents, which is kind of lame. So the time trials kind of restore that, like, speedrun kind of functionality that was in the original. It's just now they're split up, and now you have more to do. And it also, like, speedrunning the levels without the presents is kind of a fresh experience anyway. So honestly, I think the remake is kind of on par with the original, and I love all the new stuff. So a very good remake. I was pretty happy with it. Anyways, another game that me and the boys played this year was Pokemon Black and White, which is actually the first time I've ever played Black and White. I never played it before, and we played the randomizer, obviously. So everybody's playthroughs were, like, you know, very like varied, and everybody had, like, different Pokemon and stuff. I don't even remember what my team was, honestly. I know I had a Genesect, and that's all I really remember. I caught a Genesect on, like, Route 1 or whatever, somehow, and he had Flash Fire, which was even more insane. So his one weakness was just, like, nulled. But besides that, yeah, I'm glad I got to actually play a good Pokemon game for once, because the last Pokemon game I fully completed prior to this was fucking Sword and Shield, and it was just such a mid game, bro. Like, the only good thing about that was the music and the waifus, and that's literally all that was good about it. But Black and White was nice. I really enjoyed the challenge of it. Let's not talk about Chargestone Cave, though, because all my friends seem to bring that up just to make fun of me. But we are going to probably do Black and White 2 in 2025. That's what I'm hoping anyway. And maybe Zach will join for that too, who knows? Well, it depends. I guess we'll see, right? But I don't really have a whole lot else to say. It was just nice to get to play this game. I'm glad I got to finally experience Gen 5, and maybe I can go back and watch some Let's Plays of this game now. Alright, the next game I beat this year was Touhou 8, Imperishable Night. Again, sorry for the crappy resolutions on the screenshots. Yeah, I like Gen 5. It's definitely one of the better ones. So I haven't touched a Touhou game since Imperishable Night back in like April. So I think it's about time I probably play Touhou 9 soon. But Touhou 8 so far is probably the best one. Like, the fact that it has 4 playable characters, technically 8, is just cool. You know, I think that's the thing I really like about Touhou, is that Touhou games, they just keep adding more characters each time. Like, I think by the time you get to, like, Touhou 19, there's, like, fucking, like, 20 characters or something crazy. So, yeah. I remember I ended up beating this game with Sakyu and Remilia, interestingly enough. You know, I beat Touhou 6 and 7 with Marissa, and I was gonna see if I could beat them with it. I was gonna see if I can beat it with them, but I ended up beating it with Sakyu and Remilia instead. Yeah, I heard Touhou 9's not as good, but I'm gonna play it anyways. And Touhou 8 is kind of when I decided, like, I'm committing. I'm going to beat the extra stage, even if I have to cheat. Because I don't have the personal patience and, like, you know, time to put into the extra stage. Like, I know you could say, like, oh, skill issue and stuff. I just, you know, I want to play as many games as possible. And if I just get stuck on trying to beat Moko for, like, a year, that's not fun for me. That's not fun for anybody else. And that's not fun for, you know, anybody else, because I want to play other games, not just the same single stage over and over again. And that's what also made me go back and finish Touhou 6 and 7, which I don't remember if I included in this folder. I might have. Let me see, did I include them? Oh yeah, I did. They're way later though, apparently. Yeah. So I just wanted to see what the Moko fight had to offer. As far as I'm concerned, as long as I can 1cc a Touhou game, that's good enough for me, and the extra stage is just like a bonus, you know, it's whatever. So, yeah, but it was a really good fun game. Anyways, here's the next game, Secret of Mana, which is a game I've always wanted to play as well. This is a game that originally started out with me and Jose and Jordan playing it, because it's a 3-player game, and halfway into the series, Jose ended up being a little bitch and stopped showing up to them, and he got annoyed with the game, so we just stopped inviting him. And me and Jordan ended up finishing the game together. But I'm kind of jumping to the drama. I always jump to the drama before I actually talk about the game for some reason. I don't know why I do that. But I'm gonna be honest, Secret of Mana was not as good as everybody hyped it up to be. Like, I've seen all these people defending Secret of Mana, saying, like, oh, it's like one of the best JRPGs ever made. I mean, it was fine. I think this game's selling point mostly relies on the fact that it's a 3-player co-op JRPG on the SNES, right? And that's kind of half the reason I wanted to play this game, because I wanted to play a 3-player JRPG. And I think part of the reason why it wasn't that fun, though, is because of how unresponsive it is. Like, the menus are really weird, the translations are really shoddy. Sometimes you'll hit an enemy, and the damage numbers won't show up until, like, 2 to 3 seconds later, which is really weird and, like, very arbitrary. And also, like, by the time you get to the end of the game, all you need to do is just spam spells and bosses die in, like, a couple hits. It's not a very fun and well thought out game, honestly. I think, like, it's just you're just kind of going along for the ride and just playing with your, you know, your other buddies. But I'll be honest, like, the fact that everybody has to open the menu and individually equip their own shit is also kind of annoying. It just kind of drags the game down a bit for me. And yeah, it's just overall pretty confusing game, and it's, you know, kind of limited by the hardware. I don't know how the remake handles things, but apparently the remake's not very great either, because apparently they got rid of the whole 3-player thing, which is the whole point of the goddamn game. Why would you re-release Secret of Mana and get rid of the whole, like, the whole gimmick of the game? I don't know if that's true. I might be making shit up, but yeah. So I don't know. The only thing I really liked about this game was the music. The characters were cool, I guess. But leveling up your magic is just tedious. You have to grind shit out. Oh, hold on. I'll be right back. My laundry's done. Alright, I'm back. Apparently Zeffy doesn't want to do Hot Pursuit anymore. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit. Anyways, I think I said what I wanted to say about Secret of Mana. I kind of got distracted because my laundry finished, like, in the middle of me talking. Technically, this counts as a game I played this year. I figured I'd throw it in. Here's this random image I found from, I think it's like a Steam page or something. I figured I'd just use this, so whatever, hopefully whoever made this is cool with me using it. So Luigi's Picture Poker, aka that one minigame from Mario 64 DS that everybody likes, and including me, because I was addicted to that shit as a kid, and I guess I'm not the only one, because apparently a lot of people were. So, yeah, no shot, I've played this game for like 10 episodes or something, just so I could get 10,000 coins, which is the maximum amount you can get. The best minigame. It is the best minigame. And it's the reason why Nintendo doesn't include gambling in their games anymore. But yeah, this is kind of just like one of those like chill series where I'd talk about random crap and just play poker in the background. That's basically what it is. You know, honestly, I could use a game like that every now and then. A game where I just like have something I play, but something that doesn't really require much brain power, and I just talk about shit. You know, that's basically what the whole point of Cookie Clicker was initially. And then it eventually just turned into a, let's watch random crap that my friends send me. Which is, you know, that kind of defeats the whole point of Cookie Clicker. You're not even playing Cookie Clicker anymore, you're just watching shit. And then I got bored of that because my friends ran out of stuff to send me. So, yeah, that's pretty much why we canned that series. But you never know, I might do Cookie Clicker again someday because, you know, maybe 2-3 years from now, you know, Cookie Clicker's gonna get a couple updates. They're gonna add some new buildings and some new, you know, mechanics to the game that might make it worth going back to and just doing a brand new save. And we'll call that, like, Cookie Clicker Season 2 or something. I don't know. I've done shit like that before, I think. But not anytime soon. But yeah, Picture Poker is pretty simple. You just try to beat Luigi at poker and try not to get screwed over by his RNG. And he also plays dirty because he cheats. But yeah, Picture Poker is very funny. Alright, I figured I'd include this game on here. Me and Luke, we played Lego Harry Potter Years 1 through 4, which I apparently learned is a really old game. Apparently this game came out in like 2005 or 6 or something. So it's a lot older than I thought it was. It's just, I think the years 5 through 7 came out a lot later because they were like still releasing Harry Potter movies at the time. But yeah. Me and Luke, we wanted something to play, right? And I thought, like, what would be, like, a good game for me and him to play? And, you know, I played Lego Star Wars, The Complete Saga, with Aaron, like, a year or two ago. And we really enjoyed that. And that's actually a game I grew up with. But that's the only Lego game I've ever played. I've never played any of the other ones. So I was thinking, like, what would be the next best Lego game to play? And I thought, like, maybe Lego Indiana Jones or something. But I shit you not, the main reason why we settled on this game is because haha funny British jokes. And I feel like Luke would understand this game very well because of the fact he's British. And also this game is on Switch, so we just decided to get the Switch version and play that. Because we tried to play it on GOG, and that shit kept crashing, which is not fun. So we ended up playing on Switch instead. And so the first episode's kind of rocky, but it all went uphill from there. Except for the times when the game would glitch out and have like glitchy graphics and stuff. But it was still a fun experience regardless. And this game also made me a Harry Potter fan, so that's another, like, bonus. I ended up watching the first three movies. I still haven't seen the fourth one yet, but I'll get around to that. And then eventually, me and Luke will eventually come back and do years 5 through 7 at some point. Don't know when, but it's basically the same length of the first part. And that took us, what, like 18 episodes or something? So, yeah. But it was really fun. I liked the whole twist on, like, having to use magic and shit instead of using the Force. And it wasn't so simple like Lego Star Wars. It wasn't just you build something, you use the Force to do something. It had a bit more depth than that, I think that was pretty cool. And it makes me kind of interested to try out some of the other Lego games. Like, eventually I want to try Lego Indiana Jones and Lego The Hobbit and Lego Lord of the Rings and stuff. We might do those someday, because I'm just kind of interested in trying those out. And then potentially also watching the source material, because I've never seen Indiana Jones or Lord of the Rings, and I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice in not watching those. So, eventually I'll watch Peak. Anyways, here's another series. I don't know if I call this a series, but I figured I'd throw this on here. We played Tomodachi Life this year. Also, why is it being weird? It's not letting me shrink it. There we go. Yeah, so I wanted to play Tomodachi Life because that's kind of like, that's just a very funny game that all the YouTubers played back in the day. And I wanted to, put my own spin on it. I wanted to play Tomodachi Life for myself because I grew up with this game. I played it in like 2014. In fact, I shit you not, the reason I got this game was because I saw Vinny Vinesauce play it. And I saw his Mii's, like, swearing and saying funny shit. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, I have to get that game. I have to make my Mii say funny curse words. And that's honestly half the reason I got this game. And I don't regret it, because this game was hella fun when I played it back in the day. And I haven't played it since then. I don't even remember what Mii's I had on that island, the first island I ever made. Because I ended up having two islands. I had one island where I tried to play seriously, and I think I don't even remember what Mii's I had. And then on my second island, it was like Earthbound references for some reason, because I had an Earthbound phase at the time. So I had like Ness and Paula on my island, I had like Mr. Saturn, and for some reason I had a second female Mr. Saturn, and they got together and they gave birth to a little Mr. Saturn. It's some weird shit, but that's what I did back in the day. But for this Tomodachi Life playthrough, I put a lot of my friends on the island. We put a bunch of video game characters like Sub-Zero and Xehanort Armstrong. And it was pretty fun. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to Tomodachi Life, but my island is still there if I ever really want to go back to it. But I kind of got bored of the game. I don't think I'm going to go back to it anytime soon. But we did play it. And when we got bored of it, we played it with Tomodachi Enterprise for a few episodes, and that was also a very fun way to play the game, and I modded the music and stuff because it's all in BFS or BCSTM. So it was pretty fun to play Tomodachi Life again, but it's one of those games you can't really complete. So I wouldn't say it's on a hiatus, it's just you kind of get bored of Tomodachi after a while, and then you just don't go back to it. And that's the same thing that happened to Vinesauce and a few others like Sully Pones. Those are the only two people I remember actually playing that game. Alright, now here's one of the big games of this year. The TTYD remake. This was a very surreal experience as well, just like the Mario RPG remake and the Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake. Like, Nintendo was frickin' cooking in 2024. Releasing so many good remakes of so many good games. Like, 3 of my favorite Mario games get remade. Actually, no, yeah, 3 of my favorite Mario games get remade in the span of a year, which is insane. And obviously, I was really excited for this one because, TTYD is my favorite game of all time. And cooking, yeah, they're cooking. And, funnily enough, this is the game that got my Switch banned. I won't go into detail why, but this is the game that got me banned, and oh my god, it was worth it because, yeah, I don't have to worry about paying for online anymore. Freaking great stuff. So, yeah, the TTYD remake, is not as faithful as Mario RPG, but it is still a really awesome remake because they kept everything, like, very, very near damn identical to the original. Like, it just felt like I was playing the GameCube version all over again, because I know that game, like, incredibly well. But all the little things they added to the game, like, you know, all the better lighting, quality of life stuff, the extra sprites of animation and stuff, it just really made the game feel more alive, and it feels like what the game should have been back in 2004. And yeah, I loved all the new stuff too, like the extra boss fights, and the new music was also really good. Like this game, I'm not gonna be making this up. I'm talking weird. I don't know what I'm saying, but deadass, I think TTYD Remake has like the best Mario RPG soundtrack of all time now. Like, it's pretty on par with frickin' Dream Team. This soundtrack is like one of the biggest soundtracks I've ever heard. There's like 200, 300, 400 songs in this game, and it's actually insane. Like, the composers were like cooking in the studio. It's honestly amazing. So, I'm just really happy that this game exists and more people get to play my favorite Paper Mario game, and just makes me very hopeful for the future of Mario RPGs, because we also got Brothership in 2024, and that game was also fucking amazing. But I'll talk about that a bit later. Anyways, next game. This one might be a bit short. Batman for the NES, also known as Batman the video game. This is a game that Jose recommended to me that I try. It was one of those one-off games. I've never really been much of a Batman fan personally. I've always known about Batman, but I've never like seen the shows or the movies or anything. I just wanted to play this because it's just a good NES game, you know? And it's apparently very much like Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, it kind of was. I mean, it's made by Sunsoft, the guys that made Blaster Master, which that's also a game I might play someday, I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised with how good this game is. Like, it's definitely one of the more random choices of games that I played in 2024. But it was pretty fun. It was definitely tough, which is kind of the point, because it's an NES game, since the game can be in like a couple hours if you know what you're doing. And yeah, it's just a very solid, like, 5 stages? I don't really know what else to say about it, but it makes me interested in maybe trying out some other classic NES games. That's all I'm gonna say. Here, I should probably open my window. It's freaking hot in here now. Really wish we had like better controlled heating, you know? I can specifically control the heating in my room, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, here's another game we played this year. Me and Jay, we played Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. Specifically the Master Collection version. He recorded off of his PS4, and I recorded off my PC on Steam, because I got this game when it was on sale, I think, and I got it for like 20 bones. I don't know. I don't remember how much it was. But I've always really wanted to play Metal Gear Solid 2 in its best possible version, because I played the PS2 version on like PCSX2 when it was still shitty. Because here's the thing, PCSX2 used to be dog shit back in the day. I played in like 2019 when the program was still kind of new, and literally all you could use was like OpenGL, and it was fucking ass. When engage, oh, that's gonna be way later. That's gonna be in the friends section. But yeah, so the Metal Gear Solid 2 that I played was really buggy. It was not in HD. It was just kind of ass. But this version that I played was so amazing. It was in 4K. Well, it had 4K textures, because it was like 4K upscale textures, and it looked amazing. And it was in widescreen, and I had a bunch of like bug fixing mods on top of it. And honestly, my only problem was that the load screens were too long, but that's just because I was playing on my hard drive. I could technically load this game on my new SSD and like play it that way, because I could just like, what I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on throwing all of like my big games onto my SSD and just playing it off of that, because it'll be forced to read games from there, which will make it go faster. So load screens will basically just like be non-existent if I decide to play any like big games from now on. But yeah, it was a treat getting to re-experience Metal Gear Solid 2, and you know, Jay is really good at Metal Gear, so he kind of whooped my ass at the game, but it was still pretty fun, and me and him, we talked about some stuff. I do want to do more stuff with him, though, because, you know, I feel like I've been kind of, what's the word, neglecting him a bit, because he's usually like busy with school and stuff, and I'm trying to catch him when he's free, but he almost never gets back to me in time, or he always says like, oh no, never mind, I'm busy. So it's kind of hard to find a time when I can play shit with him. We're planning on playing Wind Waker. I want him to play Wind Waker, and because I don't think he's ever played that, and I found the GameCube version, which I've also never seen, so it'll be slightly different. And honestly, I should probably play a Zelda game myself one of these days. I don't know which one I'll play. Maybe I'll put it simple and maybe play like Zelda 2 or something. I'll play that Zelda 2 remake that came out with the widescreen and whatever. Alright, I'll keep this one short. After beating Moko with cheats, I eventually went back to the other Touhou games with the Touhou practice code or whatever it's called. But basically the thing that lets you pick checkpoints or something. And I went back and I fought Flandre, and basically whenever I would die, I would go back to the start of the fight, but every time I would die, I would go ahead one phase. And that's how I ended up fighting Flandre, because there was no freaking way I would have the patience to fight Flandre legitimately, because that would probably take like weeks or something. I'm just not about that. I just wanted to... It was just bothering me for the entire year. No shit. When I stopped doing attempts on Flandre, it legit kept me awake at night. I'm not joking. Like, I was thinking, like, every day, it's like, am I gonna fight Flandre today? Am I gonna try and fight Flandre? And I just kept thinking about it nonstop, and it was bugging the hell out of me. So when I beat Touhou 8, I think, like, I gotta fucking get rid of these, like, impulsive thoughts. I need to beat Flandre, and I don't care if I use cheats or not, I have to fucking beat her. So I ended up using the practice codes, and it felt rewarding enough that I gaslit myself into stop having those feelings. So now I don't think about it anymore, so thank God for that. And, yeah, I'm just glad to have finally put an end to Touhou 6, but I have more thoughts on Touhou 6 in one of my previous years. I guess I'm going to skip ahead a bit and just talk about Touhou 7 as well. I did the same thing that I did for Flandre, where I actually fought Ron and Yukari, which I actually never did before, so there was like something slightly different there, because I did Ron's stage, and I did a little bit of her boss fight, and I couldn't beat Ron. And I was thinking, like, no way in hell am I gonna have the patience to try and beat Yukari, too. So that ended up being a bit of a longer episode, and I ended up, fighting Yukari as well and doing her stage, which I've never seen before. So it was like a slightly more interesting episode to do because of that. And I'm glad I got to finish Touhou 7 as well for that reason. So Touhou 6, 7, and 8 are all done, so I can focus on Touhou 9 next, and then maybe Touhou 10, depending on how I feel. I mean, it really is, I guess we'll see how Touhou 9 goes, right? Because I heard that one's kind of weird. But anyways, I'm gonna go back to where I stopped after Touhou 6. Well, that's a big image. We have Mario and Luigi Paper Jam with the boys, which is another series that me and the boys did this year. It's really funny because playing Paper Jam was Seb's idea initially, and I think we didn't have Aaron for the first few episodes, and we eventually, I think I just ended up sending him my save file, and he ended up catching up later, or something like that. And truthfully, I wasn't really expecting much going into Paper Jam, because Paper Jam was like, it's kind of one of those games I'd forgotten about, and it's kind of like a mid-game. But no joke, After replaying Paper Jam, I think it's easily in like my top 3 Mario and Luigi games now, which is a pretty unpopular opinion, I realize. Most people would put this game at the bottom, but hear me out, right? The reason why I rank this game so high now is because the battles are just so much fun. The battling never gets old in this game, and it's honestly the most fun I've had with the battle system in Mario and Luigi. I think Dream Team is also pretty good, but man, Paper Jam is just like on another level because you don't have to switch up the gameplay style. You got Mario, Luigi, Paper Mario, and you're sticking with that gang the whole way through. And there's so much diversity because you have, 5 bros attacks per character. And the trio attacks are also really fun. So you have 15 different bros moves to experiment with every single turn, which is the most that you've ever had at once in the series. Because, well, technically, Luiginary attacks and like Bowser's Brawl attacks are like separated because of the gameplay styles. So Paper Jam just has so much to offer. And it's a lot of fun. And I also really enjoyed 100%ing this game. It was definitely an experience, because I got every block, every bean, every expert challenge, every toad, basically everything, if that makes sense. That's not even correct English. Everything. Yeah. And, it's just another fun game for me and the boys to just chat and play Paper Jam and revisit this game after not playing it for like 8 years or whenever the last time I played Paper Jam was. Because I played it on release year, and then I didn't play it since then, so it'd been a long time. Yeah, that's kind of just when we started our Mario, and this is kind of when we started like the Mario and Luigi phase on the channel, because, not too long after Paper Jam, we played Brothership, and then we played Dream Team, which we'll get to. But yeah, this is a pretty fun game to revisit. I'm glad I got to play it again. Alright, next up, me and my girlfriend, we played Metal Gear Solid. I have not touched Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PS1 in a while. And here's the thing. I was really torn on whether or not I wanted to show my girlfriend the PS1 version or the Twin Snakes version. And I ended up settling on the PS1 version after doing a bunch of thinking and research. Because of the fact that the PS1 version, it's more emotional. And I feel like that's something that she'd really like. And I'm not too sure how effective it really was, but I feel like this game leaves more of an impact than Twin Snakes does. Twin Snakes is a pretty, whatever remake. I like Twin Snakes, but I won't lie, I think the story in that game is kind of ass. You play MGS1 you play MGS1 for the story, and you play Twin Snakes for the gameplay. That's basically what those are there for. So if you want a speedrun, I'd say probably go for Twin Snakes, but if you want to experience the story all over again, you play the PS1 version. And that's kind of the whole point. I wanted her to see the story of this game, and I have not played MGS1 since 2020, I want to say. Either 2019 or 2020. I played the PS1 version like a little while after I played Twin Snakes. And when I got, the PS1 emulator working, I decided to do a playthrough of it. And, I got to see the differences myself, and MGS1 is way fucking harder than Twin Snakes. It kicked my ass. I was not expecting that. So it was just pretty fun and refreshing to play. So yeah, I'm glad I got to show her that, though. Someday I want to show my girlfriend MGS2 as well, because that game's even more batshit insane. But we're playing Danganronpa 2 right now, so it probably will be a while before we get to that. And truthfully, there's a lot of games I want to show my girlfriend. I want to show her, I'm still thinking about showing her Partners in Time, maybe. I don't know why I settled on Partners in Time specifically. I was thinking about showing her Super Mario Sunburn, those Super Mario Sunshine ROM hacks, because I know she loves Sunshine. I wanted to show her that. And then, eventually MGS2. So those are some like possible games to play with her. But for right now, it's just focusing on Danganronpa 2. Alright, here's one of my personal favorite games from this year that I played, honestly. Ninja Gaiden Sigma. And I know you're probably gonna be like, haha, Sigma, funny. Shut up. But, I played, the Ninja Gaiden trilogy prior to this, like, over the course of the years. Like, I played Ninja Gaiden Randomizer, because I played Ninja Gaiden 1 before, so I wanted some way to spice it up. And then I eventually played Ninja Gaiden 2, and then Ninja Gaiden 3. And I enjoyed replaying through all of those, because they're still pretty freaking tough games. It's just not as tough as I remembered, because, you know, I was a fucking tween. I was a tween who didn't know how to play games. And I was playing on my 3DS, of all things. I was playing freaking NES ROMs on my 3DS. Kind of crazy. But, yeah, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, I've always wanted to play the 3D Ninja Gaiden games, because, you know, I heard they're different, but I wanted to continue the Ninja Gaiden saga somehow, and I wasn't sure when I'd get to. And I don't remember when they announced it, but when they announced the Ninja Gaiden collection, I was so happy, bro, because I was like, yo, I finally get to play these Ninja Gaiden games. They're like easy to access now, like, thank God, right? And I played Ninja Gaiden Sigma this year, and in 2024. I gotta stop saying this year. It's just a habit. And man, this was a phenomenal game. Like, this is probably my new favorite Ninja Gaiden game, just because of how epic it was. Like, I loved the atmosphere and the music. I loved the weird characters and all the weird, like, hellspawn eldritch monsters. Like, there was a lot of freaky guys in this game, like that freaking tentacle dude. There's like those big dinosaur dudes that roll into you. There's what else? You have like the freaking soldiers that throw grenades. There's a lot of cool enemies that you get to fight, and it's honestly making me more of a hack and slash fan the more I play it. Because I played most of the Devil May Cry games, and Devil May Cry is what got me into hack and slash. So I knew that I would be kind of right at home with Ninja Gaiden, and it definitely took some getting used to, but it got really fun once I mastered it. And even though I played on the normal difficulty, I still got my ass kicked, and man, was it real rewarding once I finally beat it and put all the effort and time into completing it. So, yeah, really glad I played Ninja Gaiden Sigma. I'm definitely going to play Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 in 2025. You can definitely expect that. And depending on how I feel, maybe Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge as well. It just depends. So yeah, if I had to put like my top 5 games this year in 2024, fuck, I keep saying this year. Gotta stop that habit. If I had to pick a top 5 games of 2024 that I played, this is definitely in the top 5, because this game's fucking amazing. Alright, next up is another game between me and Jordan. Me and Jordan, we played Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Also, holy shit, we're already at an hour 17. I'm only halfway done talking about my games that I played alone. I told you, there's gonna be a long video. I've never played Kirby and the Amazing Mirror all the way through. This is another one of those games I started back in, like, 2019, and I never finished. I got lost. I got lost in this game. Because I was kind of shit at Metroidvanias at the time. I got better at them over time. But I've always thought to myself, like, yeah, Kirby and Metroidvania, what's not to love? And it's multiplayer? Like, that's just a recipe for, like, an amazing game right there. And honestly, half the hard part of this game was setting up the multiplayer, because I had to play MGBA with, like, the link cable mod or whatever installed. And once we got past that, playing this game was really fun. You know, me and Jordan, I guess we've just kind of been on a Kirby spree recently. Because I don't really know anybody else that likes Kirby in my friend group. So, it's honestly perfect. And I'm glad I got to play this co-op, because that's also a fresh experience. Because you don't really get to see a lot of people play this game co-op, because of how obscure of a feature it is. I guess nowadays, though, it's a little bit more feasible because of the Nintendo Online, but fuck the Nintendo Switch Online. That shit sucks, bro. You gotta pay $50 for that? Hell no. Who the fuck's gonna want to pay $50 to play Game Boy Advance games? Anyways, yeah. Playing this game was definitely an experience, and it kind of sparked. It kind of gave me some of my Kirby spark back again, and no pun intended, because Kirby's sparks a Kirby ability. But yeah, playing this, it's kind of making me want to play the other Kirby games on handheld, like Squeak Squad. Squeak Squad is an underrated one. I want to play that, just to say I've played it. And then, what else? Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland is another one I want to play. I've heard that one's also 2-player. I don't know how true that is, but that's an idea. Alright, the next game I played, I'm gonna crop it, it's a bit weird. I played Neptunia on the PS3, the original version. Which, the thing is I've always wanted to play this game. Okay, let me just shrink it a bit. I remember, because I played Rebirth 1 back in 2020, which is my first exposure to Neptunia, so funny thing is, I've only been a Neptunia fan for 4 years, but it feels like I've been a fan for longer. That's kind of how things go. You get into something, and then you feel like you've been a fan of it forever. It's one of those cases. And so, I remember I saw, like, reviews back in the day. I think it was, like, 2018 or 2019 of, like, Neptunia. And I think, I don't remember if I read reviews for the PS3 version or the Rebirth 1 version. And I just remember people saying, like, this game's grindy, this game's slow and boring, and I didn't know what to expect going in, and how do I explain it? There's just these vibes of a game that you get before you play it. And when you actually play it, the vibes that you get are not at all what you got before. Does that make sense? I don't know if anybody understands that feeling. And then once you beat the game, those vibes that you had before you play the game, just you're never getting them back. I don't know how you explain it, but I kind of had those vibes going into the Rebirth 1 back when I played it. And I remember after I beat Rebirth 1 like a few years later, I saw videos of the PS3 game, and I was like, huh, PS3 version looks pretty interesting. You know, I like seeing the script differences and stuff. You know, playing the PS3 version's almost like... It's like when you watch an anime from the 90s and 2000s in dub, and then you go back to watch the uncensored subbed version, and you're like, wow, look at all this stuff that was changed in the dub version. That's basically what it's like to play the PS3 Neptunia, because they changed so many things that this might as well be a completely different game. Like, there's only a couple of story beats that they have in common with the remake. Rebirth 1 is basically like the Final Fantasy VII remake of Neptunia's, because there's honestly so many fucking different things that you're basically playing a different game. Like, you're not even playing the same game that you played, you know, back then on an older hardware. And this was the first game that I successfully got working on our PS3, because there's no way in hell I'm hunting down a PS3 and getting one of those weird HDMI cables, because the PS3 doesn't like HDMI to Elgato's for some reason. I don't know, it's weird. I didn't feel like going through that shit, so I just opted to play on our PS3 because it's just easier. And it was just an interesting experience, because I've heard people say, like, this game sucks, this game's, like, boring and slow and grindy, and yeah, I kind of understand that, but, like, I didn't mind it that much, honestly. Like, sure, the game isn't without its flaws. It's definitely not as snappy and fun as the newer games, but I feel like for the PS3 one, if you can look past that and just, like, get yourself immersed in the world, it's a pretty good time, honestly. And honestly, besides Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, the stakes have never really felt as high as they are in this original PS3 version. Like, you genuinely feel threatened in this game, and compared to, like, Mark II and V, where it's just like, haha, there's the bad guys, let's go kick their ass. But it feels more serious in, you know, those two games, in the original and V2. And it kind of makes you wish we had a more serious Neptunia story, because we don't get those too often. I mean, it's not to say that, you know, we can't have lighthearted moments, because lighthearted moments are the perfect thing you need in, that's exactly what you need in one of those anime-type games, you know? That's what Persona does so well, you know, they have a good blend of serious and funny. And I think every game needs that. Every game needs, you know, serious and funny. Anyways, next game I played this year is the first video game I ever played, actually, Pac-Man World 2. Now, half the reason I played Pac-Man World 2 is so I could finally 100% it. Because I've been playing this game since I was like 3 years old. Never 100%ed it. I never had the patience to sit down and 100% this game. I got close plenty of times. I'd always get like maybe 20 tokens away, and then I would just give up because the last 20 are just so damn tedious. The last 20 tokens arguably take almost as long as the rest of the game. And that's what kind of made me a bit hesitant going into this game, but it wasn't too bad. I had a lot of fun revisiting this game too, because I think like a few years back, I played Pac-Man World 2 with a randomizer, which was kind of annoying to set up because you had to do some weird shit with Python, and I fucking hate it when randomizers require you to download Python. I just want like a simple GUI program to do it for me. I don't know. I know I'm lazy. But I played that. I played it for like a couple hours. I beat it, got bored, and I was like, whatever. Not touching Pac-Man World 2 again. Probably not going to do it on the channel. I ended up doing it on the channel anyways. And I'm really glad I did, because I finally got to 100% this game and get it out of my mind. Because for the first time in like 20 years or so, I can finally say I've 100%ed the very first video game I've ever played. And that's a pretty good feeling, honestly. And this game is also... I'm also kind of glad I'm getting back into this game again, because my good buddy Matteo, or Matt, this is also one of his favorite games. So I actually have a mutual game I can share with him now. And me and him have actually kind of started speedrunning this game, where we've kind of been trying to learn how to get good at this game. And that's also been really fun. So, yeah, just kind of a Pac-Man World 2 resurgence in my life, which is pretty nice, honestly. And yeah, this game's still hard, though. It's still pretty difficult, especially if you're going for 100%, but man, is it worth it. You get to finally play Miss Pac-Man. It's not worth it, but you get to play it. Alright, the next game... Oh god, this quality. That's some crappy quality right there. Me and Jordan, we played a game called Infernax, which I've never heard of until he showed me. All he had to do was say, it's like Castlevania, and I was immediately hooked. So this is kind of one of the more oddball games that I played this year, but this game was pretty fun because it is 2-player. It's like a 2-player Castlevania, Metroidvania kind of game with blood, guts, experience, different endings. It was just overall a really cool experience. So, pretty glad I got to play this. It was one of the more interesting ones I played this year. And it's kind of what opened me up to just, like, you know, not thinking too hard about what games I play. You know, Jordan just says, like, hey, you want to play this random game? I'd just be like, alright, sure. And then I play it. And then I end up liking a game that I never even knew existed. And sometimes that's all you need. You know, maybe I kind of want to try and do that more often. I kind of want to just not overthink it too much. Because that's the thing. My problem is I overthink too hard on what game I want to play. And what ends up happening is I end up just, like, never playing those games. Because I'm just thinking, like, oh, what if I don't like it? Or, oh, what if I'm not interested? Like, I think I need to just, like, shut up, just play the damn game, and hopefully try and get hooked into it, you know? And I'm kind of hoping maybe I can try and do that a bit more often. Alright, the next game that I played is a ROM hack called Super Mario RPG Masters. This is a really low image, really low quality image. Why do I have all these low quality images? So I kind of wanted some Mario RPG fix in 2024, and I was looking for new ways to play Mario RPG. And I was looking on Game Banana of all places, and I found a ROM hack called Super Mario RPG Masters, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. I like seeing how people can, you know, put a fresh spin on Mario RPG. And I'll be honest, no offense to the creator or anything, but this was just kind of an okay ROM hack. It wasn't, you know, all crazy like Mario RPG Armageddon. It was just, you know, a fun, unique spin on Mario RPG, because, you know, I played the remake earlier in 2024, and I kind of wanted to get back into the SNES version again. And yeah, it was just fun. It was my only real problem with this hack was that the enemies are too tanky. They're too bulky. Like they take too long to kill, and battles just end up dragging on. You just want them over. That's kind of my only real problem. Like the bosses were awesome. Like I loved what he did with the bosses. He like a lot of the bosses would have this gimmick where they like flash, and then they would use like a strong ass attack that they're not supposed to have, like sword rain or spear rain or whatever. And I thought that was really cool. And it was a nice fresh take, and it kind of made me feel like I was playing Mario RPG Revolution, which is a completely different hack altogether. I don't know if I'll play that one, because that one's very old and outdated, but it does exist. But yeah, I'm kind of getting my Mario RPG groove back. I'm definitely going to try and do at least like one Mario RPG ROM hack a year, maybe. I think that sounds like fun. Because I remember I did the Blob Mafia and Armageddon as well. Alright, next up, let me just crop this properly. Alright, so, next up, we have, Puyo Puyo N, or Puyo Puyo 4, or whatever you want to call it. I like how this one has a watermark on it. I don't know why. I think I know why it's there. Because I played a fan translation for Puyo Puyo 4 that makes it in English, which is something I've always wanted. I've always wanted to play this Puyo Puyo game specifically because of how different it is. Because all the other Puyo Puyo games have this, like, kind of cutesy, chibi art style to it, but this one has a more, like, let's just say a Super Smash Bros. Brawl art style, where it's darker, everybody looks realistic and proportioned, and I've always wanted to play it. And I wasn't sure what to expect going into it. I just heard people say it's slow, which, yeah, it is kind of slow, but I didn't mind too much. If you're playing for the story, then it's fine. But if you're playing it, like, competitively and you're trying to fight with friends, then yeah, I guess it's kind of mid, but I wasn't playing it with friends. I was just trying to experience the story of this game, and it's honestly one of the best Puyo Puyo stories I've ever experienced. You know, plus we got fucking Doppelganger Arl out of it, which is like one of the best characters. She's one of my favorites now. It's literally just Arl, but she's red, my favorite color, and she's hot, and bad, and evil, and that's perfect. Whatever, so yeah. But, so glad I finally got to play this game, though, and I'm adding it to my list of Puyo Puyo games that I've played. Eventually, maybe I'll do Puyo Puyo Fever, the Puyo Pop Fever story. I don't know if Puyo Puyo Fever 2 has an English translation yet. That's like the one game that nobody's bothered to touch for some reason. I don't know why. And then there's also the Puyo Puyo 15th and 20th anniversary games. There's Puyo Puyo Chronicle. There's a lot of them I haven't played still. So, we'll eventually get to those someday. There's a lot of Puyo Puyo games to play still. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot else to say, but it was just a nice take on the traditional Puyo Puyo formula. Alright, here's the next game I played. I played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Kind of a follow-up to Seb playing Punch-Out! For the Wii a while back. And I don't remember how I came to playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! I just remember saying, like, I want to play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Someday. And it felt pretty relevant to play this game because of the whole, like, Jake Paul fight going on with Mike. That was actually a coincidence. Like, I played this game back in September before Persona 3 The Answer DLC came out. This was just kind of something to hold me over before that DLC came out, because I wanted to play something short. I ended up not finishing this game. I got to, like, Bald Bull, I stopped. Took, like, a 2-month break, and around the time that the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight was happening, I was like, you know what? Now's the perfect time to finish Tyson's Punch-Out! So I ended up finally finishing this game, like, 2 months later, and coming back to it, and just, you know, marathoning it and finishing one night. So, yeah, I'm pretty glad I got to play this game. I can finally say I've played one of the best NES games. I got to play a Punch-Out! Game finally. I'm planning on playing the other Punch-Out games on the channel at some point. Probably Super Punch-Out, maybe the arcade Punch-Out. I also recently played Doc Lewis's Punch-Out, which isn't even on my list because I played it literally last night. So maybe I'll find that in a bit when I'm done with all these games. But yeah, it was just fun because everybody got to see me suck at Punch-Out. Like, I think Dorian was there, Luke was there, Seb, Zach. It was just a good time. Alright, next up, we have a one-off, Mega Man World 5 for the Game Boy. Specifically, I played the Game Boy Color patch for it that made everything in color. Honestly, really glad I played it that way. Because I played Mega Man World 3 and 4 in grayscale, and that was fine, but playing this, it made me feel like I was playing a lost Mega Man game. And that's just a very interesting feeling. And I've always known this is like the best Game Boy Mega Man game. And I've always wanted to play it. I'm really glad I finally got to, because man, it was just so good. Like, every Mega Man game on Game Boy just kept getting better, and they peaked with this one. And it was like on par, maybe even a little above par, the NES games. And it was so good. And it was nice also having some unique robot masters and abilities for a change, and unique level designs and everything. So, really glad I got to play this one. And there's still a few other Mega Man games I have yet to play on the channel, which I might address in 2025. Games like Wily's Revenge, Mega Man World 2, Mega Man Powered Up, Mega Man X, Maverick Hunter X. Those games, we're going to play those eventually. I want to try and finish every classic game and X game that I can think of before I start the Mega Man Zero franchise one day, because I'm not mentally prepared still for Mega Man Zero. But that's for another day. Anyways, another crusty image we have here. Me and Jordan for October. Actually, I think it was September. I forget. But me and Jordan, we played Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. Which is really funny because I've never played Curse of the Moon 1. But Curse of the Moon 1 doesn't have multiplayer, so we kind of just ended up defaulting to this one. And it's another... Okay, we did play this one in October, I forgot, because we played Bloodstained in September. This is another one. This is another Castlevania lookalike, but it's also a really good one. It's much more in line with NES Castlevania than Infernax, because there's no experience, and it's just a level-to-level thing. And it was honestly a pretty pleasant surprise, because it had multiple like campaigns and stuff, even though it's mostly just playing the same levels over and over, with slightly different final levels. But I still had a good time playing this one. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about it, because, you know, Jordan's more well-versed with it than me, but it does make me a bit interested to try out the other Bloodstained games, because there's the Ritual of the Night games as well. Hey, speaking of Castlevania, here's the game I played in October. I played Castlevania Portrait of Ruin, which is a great game. I was pleasantly surprised with how good this one is, because I had not heard anything about it prior. Now, to be honest, I'm still not sure whether I prefer this game or Dawn of Sorrow. It's a really hard decision, but I think the reason I like this game so much is because I played like 90% of the game with Charlotte, and, you know, she's just this cute magic wielder. She just, like, spams magic like crazy. And it was a really fresh take on Castlevania for me, because I got so used to playing, you know, with the Belmonts and Soma Cruz and all that. So playing Charlotte was, like, really refreshing, because I've never played a magic user in Castlevania before. I mean, I also really liked the, you know, the whole team-up mechanic. It was kind of janky at times, like, sometimes it didn't work properly, but I really liked having to, like, work together with your partner to, like, solve puzzles and stuff. They kind of, like, mitigated the partner team-up stuff near the end of the game, though, once you got all your abilities. But it was still a cool concept, and I also... I think this is the Castlevania game I've put the most effort into, because this game has a secret dungeon that you can do if you get, like, all of the map completion. Like, you can only miss like 4% of the map or something. If you get as much of the map as possible, you get a secret dungeon where you fight like 10 bosses from Dawn of Sorrow, which is kind of cool. Well, actually, most of them are from Dawn of Sorrow, and there's a couple new ones. And that was really cool. I'm glad I did a bonus episode on that. And I was so into this game that I did a full playthrough of the Richter mode. And I never do, like, second playthroughs of a game. So you can tell I really enjoyed this one. Someday I would like to do Symphony of the Night with either Richter mode or Maria mode. I'm not too sure which one I'd do, but I'd love to do that someday. I think, ideally, I'd like to play the Sega Saturn port of Castlevania Symphony of the Night with the Maria mode, because I think that sounds like a lot of fun, because I've never played Maria before. I've never played the Sega Saturn version of Symphony. I get to experience those new areas they added. It sounds like fun, honestly. But I've heard Sega Saturn emulation's kind of shoddy, and I'd also have to probably find a complete save file, because I'm not playing through Symphony of the Night again just to unlock Maria. So, yeah. Unless you can just, like, start the game with her. I don't remember if you have to beat the game first. I think you do. So, I might find a complete save file online if I ever decide to do that one day. But yeah, Portrait of Room was freaking fantastic. It had a pretty good story, too. I really liked the whole, like, having to save the sisters from their evil dad, even though it's not their dad, and then Dracula shows up, and frickin' Death works together with Dracula. That shit goes so hard. This was such a good Castlevania game. Like, definitely my top 3, alongside Dawn of Sorrow and Symphony of the Night, honestly. Alright, the next game. Here's, like, the one good game me and Jose played this year together, because me and Jose, we didn't get to play too much, because half the time me and him played something, he'd quit halfway through, and then I'd have to do it with someone else. Metal Gear Solid 2 and Secret of Mana, looking at you. But this is the one game that me and him were committed to this year, and that's Silent Hill 2. I wasn't too sure what to expect with Silent Hill 2 going in, but now I fucking love it. Silent Hill 2 is awesome. It's such a good game. I love that Silent Hill isn't really a bunch of... It's not really about jump scare horror, it's more about, like, emotional horror. You know? Psychological horror, that's what they call it. I really love psychological horror. Like, I hate jump scares and stuff, but this game doesn't have jump scares. It's all, like... I love it when horror builds itself up slowly, and it doesn't, like, jump scare you last second. It builds up, and it keeps that build up. And it's just trying to mess with your head, and that's the kind of horror I love. I never knew I loved horror that way until I played Silent Hill and Resident Evil 4 and... Well, I guess Resident Evil 4 is not really horror much, but Silent Hill, that's when I found out that, like, I actually kind of like horror games. Like, I'm not gonna play, like, fucking Five Nights at Freddy's or fucking Amnesia or whatever, but I do like, you know, some of those... I do like psychological horror, and that's pretty fun. And I was not expecting... I'm pretty sure this game made me cry at the end, so that's how you know it's a good-ass game. And it's also just more responsive than the first game. It still uses the awkward tank controls, but I really like the tank controls, and I think Silent Hill 3 also does that. So, yeah, I'm really glad I got to play this game, and I'm really glad we played the PS2 version and not the shitty remasters on Steam. Because, oh boy, those are fucking terrible. And it's kind of a cool convenience. We played this the same time the Silent Hill 2 remake was coming out, so yeah. Alright, and the other game that I played in October was Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Now, I was not expecting to like this game as much as I did going into it, because the way I played Luigi's Mansion on my channel was I played Luigi's Mansion 3, and then I played Luigi's Mansion 1 on GameCube, and then I played Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. It's a really good convenience that Nintendo decided to release a HD version of this game in 2024. I might close my window because now the sirens are going crazy. Honestly, I don't know if it even picks that up, but I'm paranoid. But, yeah. I've heard this is the most mid Luigi's Mansion game going into it, but I've kind of just trained myself to not give a shit about opinions. Like, I'll willingly play a game knowing it's bad, go into it, and possibly like it coming out of it. That's just how I roll. Like, why should I care about what some random schmo on the internet says about a game, you know? I do keep the opinions in mind going into it, but it's not going to stop me from playing a game. Like, I'll play a game even if it's shitty. I could play the fucking worst game of all time, go into it, and, you know, play it anyways, because whatever. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion 2 is pretty good, and playing the HD version, really glad I played that version, because it looks really nice. You know, if you look at, like, a good example is if you look at, like, Luigi's mustache textures, or his, you know, overalls. It definitely takes a lot of cues from Luigi's Mansion 3 without being the Luigi's Mansion 3 model. Like, it's kind of like an in-between Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3, because it has, like, the same expressions and mocap data and stuff. Alright, I just had to take a drink. I've been talking for so long. I mean, my girlfriend's not online, so I can talk about this all I want. I think she's busy watching Squid Game or something. But yeah, I did kind of... I wasn't too big on the mission structure, but it kind of gave Luigi's Mansion 2 an interesting feel, because it's sort of like you're playing a traditional Mario game, honestly. Because, you know, you have levels. So there's like 4 levels per mansion and then a boss. It's very Mario 1-like, honestly, and I didn't mind that too much. If you think of them like levels and not like missions, more like mid-game, got 'em. Yeah, I like how they call it Squid Game and they don't even have any squids in it. What the hell? False advertising? But yeah, the kind of traditional Mario feel is what kind of made me like this game. The only thing I was a bit kind of mixed on is the fact that they limited the gems. They limited the gems to certain levels, which is kind of annoying, which means you had to backtrack to a specific level if you missed, like, 1 gem, so... I honestly say, if you decide to play this game, I kind of just recommend using a guide to find all the gems, so you don't have to replay levels over and over. Because you're basically just doing 2 rounds of all the levels if you miss gems, which is kind of annoying. I ended up looking up all the gem locations, just thinking like, what's the fastest route I can do to get all these gems? What's like the least amount of levels I can play with my current fuck up, you know? But besides that, I really like the vibes of this game, and I ended up liking the music quite a lot too. Like, I love Gloomy Manor as a theme a lot more now after playing this game. And honestly, it's no Luigi's Mansion 1, but it's still pretty good. It's a solid game. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna be saying that at the end of every game. I'm just gonna be like, I enjoyed it. But it's true. I did enjoy the game. Alright, we'll talk about this one too long. This one I wanted to include earlier, but I forgot about it, because it's a one-off. But me and Marquise, like the one game me and Marquise played this year, was Battletoads 2. Also known as Battletoads and Battlemaniacs, which is a really weird name. But, I don't know why I decided to pick Marquise to be the Battletoads guy. It's just kind of a thing. But, since Marquise isn't available too often, I like to pick nice short games that me and him can finish in like 2 or 3 settings, instead of like long games that would probably take like centuries to beat. So, we decided to play Battletoads on the Super Nintendo, which we technically beat in 2 sittings, but I decided to, you know, combine them into one video because I hate 2-parters. Which is also why I'm doing the Myers Bros. Wrapped as one video, because I hate 2-parters. So yeah, this game was thankfully not as hard as the NES Battletoads, but it was still pretty difficult, and we ended up just using infinite lives halfway through because we just kind of fucking gave up. Battletoads is, you know, kind of a very devilish game. It's meant to eat all your lives, and you're meant to be at it for like weeks and weeks, even though there's only like, what, like 6 levels in this game. But either way, it was fun getting to play another Battletoads game. I don't know if we're gonna play any other Battletoads games on the channel though, because that's about it. Oh, here we go. Here's probably my pick for the best game of 2024. Mario and Luigi Brothership. Oh my god, this game was so good. I loved it. Also, I'm gonna, can I put the Spotify a little bit more over here? Yeah. There we go. Dude, Spotify. Dude, Mario and Luigi Brothership was so freaking good. Like, it's so nice to actually finally play a brand new Mario RPG. This is the first good Mario RPG that we have gotten in 9 years. The last good Mario and Luigi game I'm going to count is Paper Jam, because we got Superstar Saga and Bowser's End Story remakes. We got Mario RPG remake. We got TTYD remake. That's 4 remakes. So it's finally nice to actually have a new game. Like, I'm so glad that we finally have a new Mario RPG game. And it was so good. This game, it takes a while to get going. That's what everybody says about this game, and I agree. The first, like, 5 to 10 hours are slow. But so is Dream Team, and that's my favorite Mario & Luigi game. Once you get past that, oh my god, the game gets so good, like, halfway in. Like, halfway into the game, that's when the game picks up, and that's when the story gets super good. And I deadass, this is the best story in any Mario RPG, honestly. Like, Dream Team and TTYD and Super Paper Mario are probably, like, the other really good stories. But holy shit, this one gets so good. It has the best endgame out of any Mario RPG, I will say, though. And man, I was so pleasantly surprised when I got to the final castle. Or whatever you want to call the final dungeon. It was so good. I'm not going to spoil anything because I know this game is still relatively new, but fucking play this game. Just get through the first, like, 10-hour slog of the game. And once you get to the third island, once you get to the third sea, it's so good, man. I really loved this game. Like, this is easily my second or third favorite Mario & Luigi game, depending on how I feel. But yeah, amazing game. They cooked with this one. They actually gave a damn about this game. We actually got new characters, new enemies, for the first time since Dream Team. Like, holy shit. You know when Dream Team was released? 2013. We haven't gotten new freaking character designs in 11 years. We've been so robbed. Alright. Anyways, the next game we played on the channel was Cuphead. This was actually a collaborative effort between me, Seb, and Jordan. Originally, it was just me and Jordan. By episode 2, Seb joined in, and he joined in on the fun, and he even played a few of the levels and bosses for me. So, if you really think about it, it's more of a 3-way effort. And it's kind of funny how now me, Jordan, and Seb are kind of like a new trio. It's kind of funny how that works. I was trying to make, you know, me, Jordan, and Jose a thing, but that didn't really work out. So I think Seb's a good replacement. And again, Cuphead is another one of those games I've always wanted to play. Never got around to it. And I'm glad it just so happened that Jordan has this game on Steam, so what better way to play it than to play it off his PC? And besides his internet being kind of dog shit at times and having crappy input delay, it was a pretty good time. I managed to beat quite a few of the bosses with him, so that was a pretty fun time. And I'm glad I finally got to experience Cuphead. And I also experienced the DLC for the first time. Because I watched a lot of YouTubers play Cuphead back in the day, which I talk about in my Cuphead series. But I never saw the DLC. I never saw anybody play the DLC, so that was actually brand new to me. So that was pretty cool to get to play that for the first time. And I got to play it co-op too, which you don't see a lot of YouTubers play this game co-op, so that's cool. Alright, we're almost at the end of the games that I played. Alright, next up we have Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. Ugh, a fucking dog shit Sonic game. But I kind of had fun with this game at the same time. Like, I know this is a terrible Sonic game, but using the Knuckles infinite jump was just so funny. And it was honestly hilarious just laughing at the glitches with my friends. Like, Sonic Boom Rise Lyric is one of those games you have to play that game. You have to play this game with friends to get the most out of it. Because it's just such a glitchy mess. Such an unpolished, like, bad performance glitchy mess. And I even though it's a bad game, I had a good time with it. And I got to play my crappy Sonic game of the year. And funnily enough, I think Zach is still trying to finish the Xbox 360 version of 06. And we played quite a few crappy Sonic games this year. And that's going to continue into 2025 as well. So, yeah. But I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I did play it on CMU, which means I got to mess around with performance boosts and also having the game run like ass on my computer, because for some reason my computer doesn't like CMU, but whatever. Anyways, next game is Wario Land 1. This is the first time that I've played this game since 3DS days. I originally played this game on the 3DS in 2014? I don't remember. I just know I played it on the 3DS, and I had it as one of the virtual console games I got. And I remember not liking it as much as Mario Land 2 at the time. And I think that part of the reason why I wanted to play it was because it was one of the few Wario games that you could play on there. Because I hadn't played Wario. I only played Wario Land Shake It prior to that, and I guess Wario World, which I talked about last year. But it's funny how I actually played this game at the end of 2024, and then I played Wario Land 2 at the start of 2024. But I wanted to get back on track of playing Wario games in December, because that was like kind of a tradition for a little while. Playing Wario into December for some reason. It's just for some reason I kind of shifted to playing Wario in in January. I did Wario in January for like Wario Land 3, I think, and I was like, no, that doesn't sit right with me. I saved 2020. I'd save January for like Persona and random Mario games and stuff. But yeah, I played this game with a color patch, which makes the game in color, so it's like a Game Boy Color game, and that was a pretty fresh way to replay through the game. And I also 100%ed the game too. I think I 100%ed it back on the 3DS after watching Proton John's Let's Play of it back when he still did Let's Plays. And I think I got like the castle ending. I didn't get the best ending because you have to grind a bit to get the best ending. But for this playthrough, I decided to grind out some coins and get the moon ending, which is where Wario just gets his own planet, and that's for getting the max number of coins. And if you get one less coin than that, you don't get that. You get the castle ending. So I got all treasures and I got all the money, and it was pretty fun to replay this game though, because I knew it wouldn't feel right if I didn't play this Wario game on the channel, since I was basically going in reverse order, because I started with Shake It, and then I did 4, 3, 2, and then I did 1, and then I also played Virtual Boy Wario Land. Speaking of Virtual Boy Wario Land, that's the next game. Yep. I was originally going to play Virtual Boy Wario Land and then Wario Land 1, but kind of a change of plans, I guess. But that's okay. So, I think half of the challenge of this was trying to get a Virtual Boy emulation setup. Turns out RetroArch has Virtual Boy stuff built in. So you can just play Virtual Boy Wario Land in grayscale like it's a Game Boy game. And you don't have to deal with the red eye strain of the Virtual Boy, which I know kind of takes away some of the purpose that the game's red and black. But I don't know, most people I see these days, they play Wario Land, they play Virtual Boy Wario Land in grayscale or whatever. Or maybe some other color that's nice on the eyes. Like a nice faded yellow, maybe. But I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like this game too much compared to Wario Land 1. I did like what they did with the levels, though. The levels were kind of cool, because the levels had a more open-ended feel to them. And it wasn't really about getting to the goal. You had to, like, search the levels for a key to get to the end of the level. And that was kind of cool, but it got pretty frustrating near the end, because this game, it does the thing that I fucking hate in Wario Land 2 and 3, where there's just, like, random invisible blocks everywhere. And that shit is so annoying. I hate like invisible blocks that you have to just know to ram into, and I had to look up a guide on this game on where the hell to go in one of the levels because it was just not clear to me at all. And besides that, though, it was pretty fun. I don't think I got the best ending, but I did get all the treasures, and that's what mattered. So I like technically 100%ed it. I didn't get the best ending, but that's okay. But yeah, it was fun. I finally got to play this game after hearing, you know, pretty decent things about it for so long, and it's also the best Virtual Boy game at that. So, yeah. So the next game on the list is actually Dream Team. If I can grab it. It's a bit awkward at the bottom of the list. Yeah, Dream Team. I was kind of still in my Mario and Luigi craze. Actually, I'm still in my Mario and Luigi craze, but after beating Brothership, I was thinking like, you know what? I want to play Dream Team again because I've always wanted to replay Dream Team, especially for the channel. And I beat this game back in I want to say 2020, and I didn't touch it again. And then I remember over the summer of 2023, I went to go beat Dreamy Bowser and Bowser Jr., which is something I never did. And I finally unlocked hard mode. And I thought to myself, I've never done a hard mode playthrough. And I think that would be something interesting to do for the channel. Replay Dream Team with a twist. And I think hard mode was like the perfect way to do that because it was fresh enough that it, you know, made revisiting Dream Team that much more meaningful. And I'm really glad I did because I still say this is my favorite Mario & Luigi game. It just hits all the right notes for me, honestly. My only real problems are like, yeah, the tutorials, too long. Forced tutorials are never fun. But like once you get past them, the game's amazing. The music is phenomenal. I love the vibes of like just the dream world and stuff. It's so nice. And honestly, the only real problem I had with hard mode was the fact that if you die, you lose a shit ton of progress. So you have to save religiously because I'm so used to modern Mario & Luigi where you die and it just is like, hey, you want to redo the battle? But they don't do that in hard mode. And also the giant battles can go like eat shit. Like Mount Pajama does the fucking worst giant battle in the game. Once I got used to the gyro aiming, like Zkeeper and Bowser weren't too bad. It's just Mount Pajama was fucking annoying. But besides that, I really loved revisiting this game. It was so good. Alright, and next up, here's another game I played this year. Like near the very end of 2024. Me and Seb, we raced through Sonic 4 Episode 1. And I guess, in also addition, I'll just lump Sonic 4 Episode 2 with this as well, because I don't have a picture for it right now. But yeah, my story with Sonic 4 is I grew up with these two games, Episode 1 and 2. I had them on PS3. And what I find kind of interesting is, I remember as a kid, I was thinking like, yeah, Sonic 4 is not bad. It's like the next natural evolution of Sonic 3. Of course, that's what a, you know, dumb kid like me would think, right? And obviously, you know, growing up, I found out, oh, Sonic 4 is not good. And everybody said, like, Sonic 4 has, like, the worst physics ever. And coming back to Sonic 4 with a more critical mind, I'm like, yeah, it's not good. It looks like ass. It looks like a crappy mobile game. The physics are janky. And Episode 1 in particular is especially bad because it has terrible special stages. And Sonic looks like he got, like, fucking... Sonic looks like he got, like, covered in watercolor pastels. It looks ass. And not in the good way, either. Episode 2 is a little better. I actually did get Super Sonic in that game, so that was kind of cool. Too bad I only got to use him in, like, 2 or 3 stages, but hey, it's better than nothing. So, yeah, Sonic 4 was certainly interesting, and game to run was also a pain in the ass, because the game fucking kept freezing whenever I would tab out of it, so I had to, like, commit. I had to commit to the bit. But, I'm never touching these games again, that's for sure. Fuck Sonic 4. Mania's better. but it's not as good as Sonic 3 still, in my opinion. Alright, and next up we have Magolor Epilogue. I guess I'll throw this in here. And you know what? I'm lumping in Return to Dreamland with this as well, because we technically played that as well. So I found a copy of Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe on the Switch. And the one thing I've always been curious about with that version is, how is Magolor Epilogue? I've always wanted to play that. So, the thing about that is, I had no idea what Magolor Epilogue was like going into it. So, I didn't know what to expect. And much to my surprise, Magolor Epilogue is like a frickin' Metroidvania almost. Because you get, like, upgrades and stuff, and there's, like, a bunch of, like, mini levels that you have to do. Okay, well, it's not really Metroidvania-y, but it's oh yeah, it's like the Meta Nightmare Returns and guest star modes. And I love the shit out of those modes. Those are so fun. I love when they bring those back in every Kirby game. Because you get to play through a bunch of levels and get, like, stronger every level. Except the difference with the Magolor Epilogue is it's a bunch of new levels that you've never played before. So that makes it even better, which means that you get to take advantage of Magolor's abilities, like him flying, shooting, like, energies, going through walls and stuff, which was really cool. And then a week later, me and Jordan, we did the True Arena. The True Arena in Return to Dreamland is different from the Wii version, because it has all the bosses from Magolor Epilogue, plus a new Magolor Soul fight. And that was really fun to do as well. Because I've actually never seen that True Arena before. I was going in pretty much completely blind. So, yeah. So it was also nice to get and do another True Arena, because the True Arenas are always like one of my favorite parts of Kirby anyway. You know, it's one of the biggest inspirations for SML RPG, if anybody still cares about that fan game I made. Yeah, like, my inspirations, like, the True Arena from Kirby, plus the Battle Ring from Mario and Luigi games, and those are always, like, so fun. And it still ticks me off a little bit that there is no Battle Ring in Brothership, but still doesn't keep it from being, like, one of my favorite games of this year. But yeah, I guess now that I was a little bit more relevant, the last game that I played this year, at least from games I played by myself, is Doc Lewis's Punch-Out, which I played literally last night. So, an unexpected new game has popped on this list. And yes, I'm counting Doc Lewis's Punch-Out as a separate game from Punch-Out Wii, technically. I mean, it's on the same engine, but I don't know, Twitch considers it a separate game, so I'm gonna also consider it a separate game. And it was literally just me, for an hour, fighting Doc Lewis over and over, trying to beat his ass, because I actually sucked ass at that. But it was hilarious. I kept laughing my ass off, because I kept dodging the wrong way, or ducking when I wasn't supposed to, and it was so funny. And I enjoy it. And also, you get to see more Doc Lewis. He's the man, you know? He's the main man. And it's funny to think that this is the last Punch-Out game that was ever made. Kind of wild, huh? Alright, so, that is every game that I have personally played this year. But we're only half done this list. There's still a lot more to talk about. So, in the next segment, we're going to talk about party games. Yeah, I still got finding a guy who likes chocolate. So, the party games, I'm either going to keep it short, or we're going to go on a tangent. Alright, so, the first party game we played this year was Trash Rebuffed. Yep, no surprises here. We played a lot of Trash this year. Trash Rebuffed, if you guys don't know, is a mod for Smash Ultimate that actually makes the game good again. And it is, in my opinion, the de facto way to play Smash Ultimate nowadays. Because I can't imagine playing without all these crazy changes and stuff. and it's why I'm never going to go back to Vanilla Ultimate anymore. So I got to play around with my mods, my mod pack that I made back in 2023. Because my mod pack's basically finished. I only add like a couple new things every month or so. Like maybe one new skin and a bunch of songs. It's not much, but it's something. So yeah, I think I've introduced a few people to Trash this year as well. 2024, not 2025. Yeah, if you want to play more Trash, I'm down. I could probably boot the game off my SSD now. Oh yeah, that's something I gotta do. I'm gonna probably try and put Yuzu and all the other Switch emulators onto my SSD now. And I'm gonna try and run it off that, so hopefully it boots faster. I'm gonna do a test, but that means I have to extract. That means I have to copy. Well, not copy, but I have to cut and paste like my 30 gigabytes worth of mods onto my SSD. So that's gonna take like a while. It's probably gonna take like an hour or something. So probably might want to do that today. But yeah, I introduced a bunch of people to this mod, Trash Rebuffed, and they all loved it. So it's fun getting to show people this mod. It's fun getting to replay it with people that have already played it. Trash is always a good time. We usually just play it for like an hour to an hour and a half or so, and it's just a fun good old time. Alright, now honestly, I don't know what this game's doing on here, but apparently I played it this year in 2024. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Wow, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. What a fucking game this is. I don't even know why I'm including this, because I don't want to talk about this game. Mario Kart 8's mid, bro. But apparently I played this game this year a few times. I think I played it in 2024 to test out LAN play. I think we tested a LAN play once. And LAN play is cool. I mean, that's the one thing I'd say is worth going back to MK8 for, is trying to play over, like, the custom tracks. Oh shit, Jose's in chat. Haven't seen that in a while. But yeah, Mario Kart 8's kind of mid. I've been on more of a Mario Kart Wii spree recently. I'm not really going to talk about that. Alright, I couldn't find a better image, so I just used one of my thumbnails. we played Smash Universe this year as well. Yeah, I never see you in chat these days, Jose. It's nice to see you. Yeah, much like Trash, we also played a bunch of Smash Universe this year. Smash Universe is... I'm gonna be honest, Smash Universe is kind of fallen off a bit. It was, like I said, Smash Universe was more fun when we initially played it back in, like, 2022. And now, Smash Universe is kind of like... It's just kind of our, like, waiting game, you know? If we're waiting for people, or we need, like, if we're waiting for, like, Trash to boot up or something, we just boot up Universe for, like, a couple minutes and play it. It's kind of just a game to kill time these days, and not really something that I play willingly, but hey, it's there still, and it can still be fun. Apparently I played Tekken 7 this year. Yeah, Infinite's Fall, or Universe is falling off. Apparently I played Tekken 7 once this year. Not really sure what to say about that. Me and Dominic haven't played much in 2024, which is kind of sad, but... Yeah, I do want to play more Tekken games, though. Not just Tekken 7. I want to play, like, the OG ones on PlayStation and stuff. So, I don't know. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's Mario Kart... Here's Insane Kart Wii, and I guess to a lesser extent, Formula Kart Wii. This has just been the year of my Mario Kart Wii resurgence. Like, I had a phase where I thought, like, nah, Wii's mid, 8's better. And now I'm in a phase where I'm like, nah, 8 sucks, Wii's better. So, that's just kind of where my phase is at right now. And I've been having a lot of fun playing Wii now again because of the fact that I have it on Dolphin and I have my NAND dumped on there. It is so much more fun and convenient to just... you know, boot up Dolphin, and then just boom, I'm on Mario Kart already. I don't have to set up my Wii U and shit. It's so much easier and so much more fun. That's like the whole reason that my spark in Mario Kart Wii came back. And Insane Kart Wii is still fun to this day, because I'm still finding new tracks to play on. Like, there's still, like, a shit ton of tracks I've never discovered, and every now and then, Me and Luke, we hop in Insane Car. We play tracks in order, and we just find new tracks that we've never seen before. And it's a good time because there's like 3,000 tracks, so there's still new stuff to find. And Formula Car Wii, it's also fun. Apparently, Tabs is in here too. I think me and Zeppy played a bit of Tabs in 2024. But we also kind of got bored of Tabs because we basically saw everything we could, even with like Steam Workshop and stuff. another game that fell off. But I mean, when we were in kind of our Tabs craze, it was pretty funny though. And I'll never forget this game for one reason. It's the fucking theme song that makes me think of the Guns of the Patriots theme. that is hilarious. But yeah, Tabs is cool. I'm not going to play it anymore, though. I deleted it. Speaking of another game I'm never going to play anymore, Pokemon Showdown, another fall-off game. Oh yeah, the mammoths. Is that a mammoth? It's like the only other thing that's memorable about that game. Pokemon Showdown just kind of reinforced my thought that I hate competitive Pokemon. I don't like competitive Pokemon. I just don't fuck with it, honestly. So, me and Zeppy, we needed some game to play, and Showdown, I guess, kind of was that thing for a little while, and we would just make stupid teams and battle it out, I guess. And I think Zach was there for one episode, and he whooped our ass, and that was not fun for me either. All right, now here's one of my personal favorites, as always, Super Mario 64 Co-op. This game has evolved so much over the course of the last 2 years. We used to be playing co-op, we used to be playing EX co-op, which is how it initially started out. And then it evolved into Co-op Deluxe, which is even greater and better because of the fact that it's so much easier to set up. Like, back in the day, like, and when I say back in the day, I mean like a couple years ago, you had to sit through EX Co-op compiling for like a couple hours. It was like horrendous. Nowadays, you just drag a ROM, boom, it's done in like 5 minutes. It's so much quicker these days, and it makes me want to get more people on board for Co-op Deluxe because of how easy it is to set up now. And on top of there just being way more mods, more ROM hacks, more characters, it's become so much fun these days. I kind of want to get back into a Co-op Deluxe like hype again, because playing this game with friends is like some of the most fun I've had in a while. And when it works, it's like some of the best times you can have. And yeah, I'm just excited to see how Co-op Deluxe evolves. I'm probably not going to update it again though, because I have I have the version that I want, and I don't want to force everybody else to update because that's just annoying. So we're probably going to stay on 1.04, but we're going to keep playing Co-op Deluxe, so we're going to find new ROM hacks to play, and, we're going to try and make it fun and stuff. So, yeah. Alright, next up, we have, D-Party. D-Party is so funny. This game, it's a bit of a weird one. This one, like, you just kind of develop a, you kind of get into a mood for it. Like, randomly, you'll be chilling, and then one part of the night, you'll be like, you know what? I want to play D-Party. That's how I feel about this game. It's not a game I'm, like, willing to play, but it's just a game that I get in the mood for sometimes. And when me and my friends are, like, all down to play it, it ends up being really funny. And with the new mods that I installed for it, like, I have a bunch of music that I replaced and a few, like, new textures that is not in the public version. It's a really funny time. And apparently some other guy, he's working on adding new shit to D-Party, so who knows? Like, D-Party might get an update eventually, and it'll make it better to go back to. So yeah, D-Party, mostly when we play D-Party, we usually play, like, Board Game Island, and then we might do, like, another game mode, but mostly Board Game Island, because that's, like, the funniest part of D-Party, honestly. Because, like, every time you're about to play a minigame, you just have Luigi going, like, this is the male penis and testicles. And then you always have, like, those funny sounds of him, of the guy going, like, okay, and shit. It's just the sound design is so hilarious in D-Party. It just makes me laugh every time. I love it. Alright, next up, we have another game that we played this year. Fumo Racing. Yeah, Fumo Racing. I bet you guys forgot this game exists. But we did play this game this year, in 2024. I'm just gonna keep saying this year. You guys gotta figure out that I'm saying 2024. Fumo Racing's a cute game, but there's only so much you can do with it. Yes, the Italian music is good. There's only so much you can do with Fumo Racing before it gets, like, completely boring. We did, like, literally everything we could with this game. We did, like, 50 lap rounds with, like, 100 Fumos. You know, there's only so much you can do with it, but it is fun. And, you know, you could probably play, like, a race or two and have a good time. But besides that, it gets pretty boring after a while because there's not too much with the game, and I think Honky Hood's kind of stopped updating it. Let me just check his website. I think 0.2.1 is still the latest version. But hey, you never know. I'd love to see Fumo Racing get updated. But it is sad that there is no new updates. Maybe it would be nice though if someday Fumo Racing could get dedicated servers and you could just have a bunch of real people racing Fumos and stuff. It would probably be a laggy mess, but whatever. Apparently we played Mario Party Superstars in 2024. Yeah, I don't really care about Call of Raisin, honestly. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care about Call of Duty clones. It's gonna be fucking like, Concord all over again. Yeah, apparently we played Superstars a few times in 2024. It definitely was early 2024, though. And I'm gonna be honest, guys. I think this game's better than Jamboree. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, Superstars is fine. It's, like, not my favorite Mario Party game, but it's still a good time. Especially with all the mods that we have. Speaking of good Mario Parties, we have Mario Party 5, which is probably my favorite Mario Party game that I played this year. I definitely want to go back to 5, but my friends seem more eager to play 6 instead. I mean, I guess 6 is just the shit, right? Yeah, so Mario Party 5, everybody says Mario Party 5 sucks, and I don't really understand why. Maybe it's because I play with the Shops mod, and the Shops mod kind of fixes most of the problems people have. And we play with a lot of, like, speed mods to make the game faster, and Mario Party 5 is just a good time, and games are really quick, too. Like, you can do, like, 20 turns and have it be over in, like, an hour and a half. And that's what's so fun about it. It's just a good, short, sweet time. And I'd love to do more 5, but it just depends what Mario Party people want to do, I guess. I'm gonna download 6 again though, because now I have an SSD, so I can just get all the Mario Parties, honestly. I'll get 7, I'll get 5, no, not 5, I'll get 6, I'll get maybe even Mario Party 4. Apparently I played Party Animals once this year with Dominic. I don't really have a lot to say about that. It's Party Animals. Same with Lethal Company. Me and Zach played Lethal Company one time, which was pretty fun. It kind of made me interested in, like, this. I don't even know. Lethal Company is kind of like its own genre now. But it's pretty fun. I don't know what the fuck's happening out there. But yeah, I kind of want to play Lethal Company again. It's just, I don't know when me and Zach are going to get around to doing it, and maybe playing with some of his buddies. Yeah. Alright, here's one of the better games that I play with friends. Me and my buddies, we played Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Or just BT3, as we usually call it. This game surprised me with how fun it was, honestly, for a PS2 game. And I played this game with quite a few people. I played it with Goncito, I played it with Zeppy, and I think that's it, actually. But I wouldn't mind playing this game with some other people, because I still have this game, and I have the funny Spanish mod as well that Goncito likes. So, it's just overall a really good Dragon Ball game that you can just fuck around with. do some random battles with some random characters. And I think, like, the reason why Dragon Ball games do so well is because of the sheer amount of characters they have. Sparking Zero, maybe I'll get someday, but not anytime soon, because I doubt my computer can run it that well. But yeah, what else was I gonna say about this game? Oh yeah, right, I was gonna say, like, the rosters of this game and Sparking Zero just put Smash Ultimate to shame, honestly. Like, there's so much freaking variety, it's amazing. And it's just a fun game, and it kind of got me a bit into Dragon Ball, too. Here's a random game I played with Marquise in 2024. I honestly forgot I played this with him. We played Smash Remix, which is probably the only time you're ever gonna see me play Smash 64 on the channel, because Smash 64 is pretty mid, honestly. But it was just a cool thing to check out for a few streams. Yeah, I forgot I even played this game either, but it's just really cool seeing a bunch of characters from Melee and from the N64 era in this game. You know, you got like Conker, you got Banjo, you got Falco and Ganon, Wario. Well, I guess Wario's from Brawl, so yeah, it's just cool. There's not really much else I could say about it, and it gets pretty boring after a while. It's just something you kind of check out and think like, huh, that's cool. But yeah, Smash 64 is not very memorable. Fine, I guess I'll include Fortnite on this list. I played Fortnite a couple times in 2024. There's not really much else to say about Fortnite because it's Fortnite. I think we played it once. I played it with Dorian, and that was it. But I don't really have anything to say about Fortnite. I only play Fortnite because fucking Dominic begs me to play it. Here's a better game, Jackbox. We played a lot of Jackbox Party Pack 7 and 3 in 2024. And, Jackbox is just always a good time. When I say Jackbox, I specifically mean Quiplash and Champed Up. Because we never play the other game modes, because all the other game modes suck. The only good ones are Quiplash and then Champed Up if we have enough people for it. But whenever we do play it, we play it for like an hour or two. And I just end up making what I've started doing with Jackbox videos is I just like make highlights out of them and upload them to the channel. Just cut out all of like the dead silence. And it ends up just being oops, all highlights. So like a freaking hour 20-minute video ends up becoming like a 40-minute video because there's so much parts where we're just not talking and waiting for the games to like get to the funny parts, you know? So yeah. But Jackbox is always a good time. It's always funny whenever we play it, and you know, whenever we're in the Jackbox mood, I like just booting it up and saying like, oh, let's do some random shit. Alright, so I'm counting this as a party game because it's a fighting game. Fighting games to me are party games, so we're counting this. Me and Zeppy played Touhou, Imperishable, it's not Imperishable Night, Immaterial and Missing Power. Not really much I can say about this one particularly because we played it for like an hour and we said it was shit because there's not really much. The only saving grace about this specific one is the fact that it's got some banger music and it's got Suika, and Suika's cute. So that's all I can say about that one. VR chat. I kind of got into a VR chat craze this year. I don't know how that happened. We just kind of started playing VR chat a lot this year. Hell, I even got Jose and Zeppy into VR chat, which is kind of funny. I don't know how that happened. I just have a way with charisma, I guess. But initially it started out with me playing VR chat with Porter, and then it became me playing VR chat with Zeppy, and then it became me playing VR chat with Eric, and now I just have like a bunch of people I play VR chat with, and now it's just this new crazy thing that's overtaken the channel, and honestly I'm down for it because it's just a good time. It's just we're chatting, we're hanging out, we're being like random characters that we find. Oh, you asked me, okay. But yeah, VR chat's kind of making a resurgence because initially the story with VR chat is me and Marquise played it a couple of years ago, and we did 2 episodes and then never came back to it. And I'm glad now I know actually how to play VR chat, so maybe, who knows, maybe me and him could play it again too. Alright, next up we have Touhou Scarlet Weather Rhapsody, which is, it's alright. Scarlet Weather Rhapsody is the sequel to Touhou 7.5, and the only good thing about this one is that it has Tenchi in it, and it also has a pretty good story mode. I'm gonna be honest, I do think I like this story more than the ones in 12.3 though, in Soku. So you play Scarlet Weather Rhapsody for the story, you play Soku for the gameplay. That's just all I'm gonna say, because Soku is literally an add-on for Scarlet Weather Rhapsody. So there's not too much I can say about that. Speaking of which, we have Soku, also known as Soku 2, or Hiso Tensoku, whatever you want to call this game. This is the best Touhou spin-off in my opinion. Soku is such a good time, even though we kind of got a bit bored of it. But when we did play it, it was a blast, because there's a lot of Touhou characters, and when you add on the Soku 2 expansion, you get like, what, like 12 new characters? It's amazing. You get like so many characters to pick from. And it's just really fun, and I ended up modding this game too to have custom music too. So yeah. Touhou 11 but fighting game. And that's why it's in the party section, because I invited so many people to play this game. Like, I played it with Zeppy, played it with Jose, played it with Elijah, Luke, Marquise. It's a good time. Especially when you play Soku, when everybody has like a good internet connection and no input delay, it's a good time. When everybody does have input delay, then it becomes not fun, and then you just want to fucking end the stream early, but you just gotta hope that doesn't happen. Alright, next up, me and Zeppy played Fire Emblem Link Arena for a few episodes, which was alright. Also, sorry for the crappy screenshot. I don't know, I couldn't find a better screenshot for this, honestly. It's even cropped at the bottom, which makes it funnier. But yeah, we played the Link Arena. I guess it's a ROM hack, technically, where it's all the units. You can pick from all the units from all 3 of the Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem games, and it's pretty cool. And it's just chill. I know nothing about Fire Emblem, or GBA Fire Emblem in general, but it was just chill. Mother versus daughter, apparently. I mean, I guess I learned a few things about Fire Emblem from playing Link Arena, but still doesn't mean I'm gonna play a Fire Emblem game on my own. Yeah. Me and Dominic, we also did a one-off where we played Puyo Puyo Tetris with his dog shit internet. I don't really have too much to say about it, but I do have Puyo Puyo Tetris 1 on my Switch. I actually did buy it on the eShop back when I got my Switch. So I have played the original PPT, but I've not played PPT 2, which is unfortunate because I actually do want to play this game someday, but probably not anytime soon. Maybe I'll get PPTT on my PPT2. It's kind of a hard name to say. I might get it on my Switch, because I can actually get it on my Switch now, because I'm pretty sure this game's on Switch. Yeah, well, literally says on the top left. I just found the Switch box art, because that was the easiest one to get. But, yeah, me and him, we played it for a couple hours. It was fun when, you know, it decided to work and his internet wasn't killing itself. But it did kind of reinforce that, yeah, I do like Puyo Puyo Tetris a lot. It is fun. So, yeah, might play that. Might do the story mode of that one of these days. I don't know why this is so late on the list, but we did play Minecraft this year as well a couple of times. Minecraft's always a good time, especially when, you know... Well, playing Minecraft this year, I kind of got into Java a bit more, honestly. Me and Dominic, we played Java like a couple times, and it was pretty fun, actually. I've never been that big on Java, honestly, but after playing on a server with him, with like, what was it called, Essential? That was actually pretty fun, and I kind of wish we got to continue that, but I need to talk to Dominic again. I need to see if he's able to play online again, because me and him, we haven't done shit together because his fucking mom's being a bitch, and, like, not giving him internet access or whatever. So, I'd have to ask him again and see if he's able to play online again, if he got his internet back. And, you know, maybe we could play Minecraft, because that's always a game I'm down to go back to, because I've been playing Minecraft since the PS3 days. And I think we invited a few other people, like Dorian and Seb, I think. Oh yeah, here's another game we tried to play a few times on the channel, but I think we only did, like, one stream of it. Me and Elijah, we played Rivals of Aether. He was supposed to get me this game on Steam. I think he was going to gift me it, but I don't think he ever got around to that. Because I'm not buying this game myself. I'm too lazy for that. But Rivals of Aether is a lot better than I thought it was because of how crazy the modding scene for it is. I didn't know this game had such a big modding scene. Like, we don't play the actual characters. Like, all these characters you see on the front cover, they don't exist. We just play for the custom characters. Because there's, like, a bunch of crazy ones, like Pepsi Man, Hong Mei Ling, Paper Mario. There's, like, a bunch of characters that we played, and it was fun when Elijah's PC wasn't shitting itself. That seems to be a running gag. Everybody has shit PCs, and it just isn't fun. That's why everybody plays on my computer half the time, because I have Ethernet and a decent computer. So, yeah. But, it was fun, and we tried to do a second episode, but it just wasn't a good time. That's why I want to hopefully try and get this game someday, so we can actually get all the cool mods. And, maybe play this game again, because this could be, like, the next alternative to, Trash, honestly. Just having all those wacky characters. Alright, next up, another one-off me and Dominic did. We did Puyo Pop Fever, which is, it's really funny going from Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 to Puyo Pop Fever, because this game it's interesting, because it had a completely different, like, voice cast compared to PPT. And it's a bit charming in a way, because of how, like, it's so 2000s, if that makes sense. It's a very 2000s English dub, and I really think the art style for this game is interesting, because it's the first game to have that weird, like, blocky, like, heavy outline aesthetic that all the modern Puyo Puyo games use, but they were still kind of figuring out, so it kind of has a different vibe compared to the modern games. And I really like it. And I like all the characters in this game. There's a few characters that never came back, like the How Bird. He's hilarious. How come they never brought him back? He just goes like, and it's amazing. Why did they bring that guy back? Truly one of the characters of all time. And it was just funny fucking around with this game for a couple hours. I don't think we're gonna go back to it though, unless I ever decide to do the story someday. Alright, you guys want to hear about the most mid game from this year? Mario Party Jamboree, Mario Party Jamber Mid, Jam Boring, whatever you want to call this game. I fucking hate this game. I don't know how much of that is hyperbole, but I don't like this game very much. I've tried so many times to try and like this game, and I've tried making this game as fun as I can, but every time I try to make this game enjoyable, the game kills itself and just ends up saying, like, nope. So, yeah, I don't like Jamboree. It's a slow game. It has a lot of bad mini-games. The Jamboree buddy system fucking sucks. I hate it. It slows down the game by, like, at least, like, 15 minutes. It's not good. The only redeeming qualities of this game are the character roster, the boards. Some of the boards are good. And the item play is pretty good. But I don't know if that's enough to save it from how, like, much of a slog it is to play. 20-turn games can take 2.5 hours, and that's not acceptable. I don't defend this game, and I don't defend the people who defend it either. People will keep saying, like, oh, you should just have fun no matter how long it is. Nah, man. To me, if a game is slow and, you know, just not interesting and or engaging, that's not fun. What about it? Slow games aren't fun. Is that an unpopular opinion? I don't know. I don't want things to be slow. I want things to be snappy and fast. I want them to be to the point, you know? Get to the point, man. Alright, whatever. For some reason, the last game in this list is Jackbox 3. I feel like this should have been alongside Jackbox 7, but whatever. I won't complain. Jackbox 3 is also really fun. I'm really glad I went back to this one because it has Quiplash, a slightly different Quiplash, and TKO, which is really funny. I forgot how funny TKO is. I'm really glad to be doing TKO again because we got some amazing shirts in 2024. Maybe I can find some examples of some shirts that we have in 2024. I don't know why I haven't done this for the other ones, but yeah, let's see. Can I sort by date modified? Yeah. Is that how I want to do it? Hold on. Let me sort by date again. Okay, I'm confused. Where the hell are my, you know, funny shirts? I'm really trying to find some recent shirts that I made. Do I have to sort by date modified, maybe, to find them? I might have to do that. Hold on. Sort by date modified. Okay, apparently... oh, shit, I didn't mean to move it. Apparently this is one of the most recent shirts I made. Hitler and Yo Mama. I don't think that one is not recent. That's an old one, isn't it? I don't remember. Well, just know that there are some good shirts in Jackbox. And we made some really funny stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, definitely expect more Jackbox streams in 2025. We're going to play at least a couple times, I can guarantee it. And the more people we can get to join for that, the better. Alright, that is it for party games, actually. So, those are like the two longest sections out of the way. So, next up, we're going to go over some of the miscellaneous games. This part's not very long. So, yeah. Alright, so, earlier in 2024, I was working on my Super Mario Bros. X level called the Thwomp's Takeover, which is, you know, it's pretty fun. I haven't gone back to it, though, because I've been focusing so much on, working on Down Bad Edition ever since summertime. Yeah. Oh man, there's no, like, good images from RPG Randomizer. I'll think about that later, because that is another thing I did this year, but I would love to go back to Mario Bros. X someday and finish up that level. That level has been in development hell, like, I swear to God. I'll work on it, like, a few times, and then it'll just go back into development hell again. It's unfortunate, but don't worry, I still have the source files, and Mario Bros. X is still a good time. Hey look, it's the most milked rando on the channel, Paper Mario Randomizer. Don't get me wrong, I like the Paper Mario Randomizer, and I do have fun when I play it, but we've played it too much. We've done like 50 seeds. That's a bit overkill, honestly. I think we've had enough of the Paper Mario 64 rando on the channel, to be honest. Because I got a seriously amazing PB that I don't think I'm ever going to be able to beat unless I get, like, extremely lucky. Like, that 247 that I have is, like, there's no beating that, honestly. But, hey, I mean, if Paper Mario Randomizer gets another update, I just may consider going back to it. But I feel like it's gotten enough updates to the point where, like, I just don't really see the point in doing more runs. Here's the only non-Mario one in this list. Infinite Craft. I didn't really know where to put this, but Infinite Craft, we did a couple of episodes of that. And to be honest, if we might do more Infinite Craft if I really want to, who knows? Because it's pretty hilarious. I remember me and Seb, we were up at like 1 in the morning just trying to make Toho. Which is pretty hilarious, honestly. And I wasn't expecting Infinite Craft to be so addicting going into it. You just like make concepts and words, and you even get like random ass things that nobody will come up with, like Cthulhu custard on Broadway. Like, I don't know how I came up with that, but that's one of my inventions, apparently. Cthulhu custard on Broadway. I don't even know what that means, but I invented that, and I feel like a genius for inventing that. I also did some runs of the Infinite Pit in 2024. I think I got me a couple of PBs as well, so that's pretty awesome. Infinite Pit might be taking a backseating, I'm not too sure, because of the new Tower of Trials mod. But I mean, hey, Infinite Pit's still fun. I always loved Infinite Pit ever since it came out. And then there's Tower of Trials. I didn't really know where to put this one, but Tower of Trials is also fun. It's a unique spin on the whole Infinite Pit concept, because it's not the pit. It's you know, a tower. It's Hooktail's tower basically, and it has an end boss just like the Infinite Pit, except depending on what game mode you play, it could be either Hooktail, Gloomtail, or Gloomtail and Bonetail. And I think that's pretty neat. Although I do think that if I really wanted to get the most out of this hack, I'd have to get good at it, because I'm really bad at it, and it took me like 4 hours to beat a run once. So yeah. Alright, for the next section, we're going to talk about games that I did not play, games that my friends played for me instead. And the first one's kind of false, because I did technically play it a bit towards the end. Seb playing GTA San Andreas. Now, for the first, like, 70% of the series, it was just Seb playing. But eventually, we got a multiplayer mod installed, and I ended up playing as Big Smoke alongside Seb. So it ended up becoming a co-op series. It's just, since it initially started out as him just playing it, I'm considering it a friends game, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I've always wanted to give GTA a second chance, because I played GTA 5 as a kid, and I thought it was fucking boring. But I think that's because I wasn't playing the game correctly. So after playing San Andreas, I kind of like, I'm a little bit more interested in GTA again, and I'm willing to try out maybe the other games, like maybe Vice City, or maybe GTA 5, who knows. So I think it'll be a bit more fun, honestly. But yeah, really glad I got to experience the story of San Andreas with Seb, though. That was really funny. And, well, fuck you, 4K video downloader. Why do you want to update now, bro? I'm in the middle of a stream. Shut up. Alright, but yeah, that was San Andreas. It was a pretty good game. Seb also played through Outlaw again. I know, this is literally like the one image that pops up if you search Pokemon Outlaw. Yeah, that was like a deal. Like, I think for the 1 anniversary of Seb joining the channel, Seb said he would redo Pokemon Outlaw, and yeah, he sure did redo Pokemon Outlaw. There's not really much I can say about it, besides sort of getting me more interested in Pokemon again, I guess. Yeah. Notice how, like, I'm not really saying too much on the games that my friends played, because I didn't play them. Here's the one game that Jay played on the channel for us. He played Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. He played on Extreme Mode, too, which was kind of bonkers. And it was interesting seeing that game played in Extreme, because I was always a bit hesitant to play Metal Gear Solid on Extreme difficulty, because I knew I'd get my ass whooped, and it would take me forever. But since he's better at Metal Gear than me, I figured, like, yeah, I can let him play Extreme, and he still struggled, even though Twin Snakes is a pretty easy game. But it was nice getting to see someone play on Extreme difficulty, and we got to make some jokes and all that. It was fun. So, I'm really hoping that me and him can do more stuff on the channel in 2025. That's all I'm hoping for, really. Here's the next game. Jose playing Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. It initially started out with Zeppy playing it, but he only played it for a couple episodes, and then Jose took over for the rest of the series. And honestly, I really loved Path of Radiance. It was so good. I loved the story. I fell in love with just the Radiant duology in general. It was so fun. And it really sparked my interest in Fire Emblem. I'm still probably never going to play a Fire Emblem game for myself, although you never know, that might change. But it really made me appreciate Ike more as a character too. You know, instead of Ike just being that one guy in Smash Bros. Who's from a random Fire Emblem game, nah, now it's more like, oh, that's Ike. It's fucking Ike. You know what's up, you know. But really glad I got to see a Fire Emblem game fully played through on the channel too, because this is the first Fire Emblem game that we ever beat on the channel. So, yeah, and you're gonna notice a pattern. Most of the games in this folder are Fire Emblem games. This is something that didn't actually go up on the channel, but Zach played through Superstar Saga Hard Mode. It's kind of a response to Seb playing Superstar Saga Hard Mode the year before, but this is harder mode because it's hard mode but on crack, because there's new dialogue, new like trolley stuff. The enemies are even harder than before. And it's kind of just like a director's cut, basically. And I made Zach play through it, and honestly, the sole reason I never uploaded this on the channel is because some of the subject matter in the game. There's a lot of like racist and transphobic stuff in the game. It's kind of crazy, but it's also kind of funny at the same time. But if you want to watch this series, go watch it on Twitch. It's somewhere on my Twitch. And maybe I'll like touch it up a bit and make it a bit more safe for YouTube later. So yeah, Superstar Saga Hard Mode was definitely funny though. And it was great seeing Zach's reactions to it. Anyways, next up, we have Fire Emblem Engage. Zeppy's been waiting for this the whole time. This was the first game that Zeppy played through all the way on the channel, and it was kind of cool getting to run this game, because I honestly was not expecting this game to run as well as it did. So we initially played this game on Ryujinx, and it crashed a bunch on Ryujinx. So we were getting a bit nervous on if we can even run this game. So we tried Yuzu, and that's my first exposure with Yuzu, was trying to run Engage. Because Zeppy has this game on his Switch, and you know, he doesn't really have a capture card, so Yuzu's like the next best thing. So yeah, it crashes and the cutscenes didn't work, yeah. But once we got it running on Yuzu, the game worked basically flawlessly. Like, there was basically no problems. And then like once we got to like episode 3 or 4, we installed some mods for the game. And that's how we got Coke-chan and Coke-tan and all the frickin' like, what was it called? Like the Fell Dragon, like, simping squad or whatever, which was hilarious. So we just ended up making like our own story for Engage. It just went from like a mid story to like a sandbox story. Fell Dragon Harem, sure, we'll go with that. But yeah, Engage was a pretty good time, and I still see like Zeppy and Jose popping up with this game on their Yuzus or whatever on Discord. Anyways, next Fire Emblem game, trust me, this is the last Fire Emblem game on this list. Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, which is a game that was actually kind of played by both Jose and Zeppy, because I think Zeppy played a little bit of it towards the end, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but Radiant Dawn has an even better story than Path of Radiance. It's pretty good. I really loved that you got to see the story from like a bunch of different sides. And oh, you didn't play Radiant Dawn? I think you were just there for the finale, that's right. And I know we kind of dogged on Micaiah a lot, but Micaiah's real sweet. I liked her character a lot. She's very motherly, which is a character trait that I always really like. And I mean, her magic was pretty good at the end of the game. Wasn't great, but it was decent. It was just kind of an excuse to throw in a new character. It was more focused on Ike towards the end of the game, though. And that moment when Ike showed up at the end of that one chapter was fucking amazing. That was like one of the hypest parts of the game. Slow Kaya, yeah. But yeah, I'd love to see more Fire Emblem games be played on the channel. I'm still trying to see if I can get, like, Dominic to play through Awakening or something. He did say he wanted to play that. And maybe Three Houses. I don't know. I haven't really figured out who I want to play, what Fire Emblem game. Still thinking on that. It depends who's free and whatnot, and who feels the most passion about what game. But that's the last Fire Emblem game that we beat on the channel in 2024. The next game is Sonic 06. You're doing one of them, I know that. Yeah, Zach played Sonic 06 in 2024. He's technically doing the 360 version now, so it's kind of an ongoing game, but he did beat the PS3 version, so I'm sort of counting it. Yeah. 06 is a really phenomenal game, though. I know it's buggy, but I can't help but love the game. It's so good. I love the music, I love the characters and the story. It's such a fun game. I wish I got to play it personally. But I'll probably play Project 06 sometime in 2025. I might get that and just play through it on my own. It just seems like a fun time. And yeah, he's still doing 06. You'll eventually see the rest of the Silver campaign and the final story at some point. So keep an eye out for that. Alright, and I don't know why this is it. You know, I'm moving this to the canceled games list now. Alright. Yeah, let's do the canned games list first. This is the second to last section of this list. Alright, so first up, we have Paper Mario Master Quest. A game that me and Zach initially started. We never finished it, because Zach could not be arsed to beat Chapter 3. I guess it got too hard. So, yeah. I might go back and finish this game on my own. I don't know if Zach's going to finish it, because he's kind of busy with 06 and Down Bad Edition right now. Maybe I'll wait to finish this game when I finish Down Bad Edition, though, because it'd be kind of weird starting a different Paper Mario hack. But yeah, this is kind of a bunch of various reasons. A bunch of various reasons we just kind of canned this game. We kind of lost interest in it. I personally wanted to go back to it, but it would be kind of weird if I just suddenly like dropped Zach from the series because we started out playing it. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Truthfully, I would have kept it going, but oh well. Here's another canned game from this year, Sonic Heroes. It's another example of me starting a game with Jose and then him bailing out in the middle of it. I'm noticing a trend here. Yeah. We did like one stream of Heroes. I got to like Bullet Station and then just kind of gave up because Jose got stuck on like Casino Park or whatever it's called. And I'm gonna be honest, I do want to go back to Heroes and finish it. I just don't know when and with who. But Heroes is definitely on the table still. Maybe for 2025, who knows. I'll have to get the game again. I might do the PC version though, I don't know. Even though the PC version is kind of bad, but it does have a multiplayer mod apparently, and I think that would be a pretty fun way to play Heroes. So yeah, it's unfortunate that we couldn't finish that one. That was a pretty promising series. Oh yeah, I have Superstar Saga in the canceled games for some reason, and I think I know why. I think this is for the Superstar Saga randomizer. There was one stream of Superstar Saga Rando that I did, and I never uploaded it because I was not proud of that episode, honestly. There was even a part where, like, I fucking yelled at a kid or something out my window. Not very proud of that, honestly. I don't want to, you know, keep that in, honestly. So, I'm gonna be honest. The Superstar Saga Randomizer, it didn't really click with me when I streamed it that one time. And plus, I even got a crash, which is also not good. So, yeah. I might give it another try, though, eventually. I want to like this rando because it does seem kind of cool at times. It's just, I'm gonna probably try it on, like, a more minimalist settings, because I don't know the hidden Chuckle Bean locations in this game. I know all the regular bean locations, but not the hidden ones, because fuck those. Who's gonna want to look for those? So, yeah. And when I played it, my bros weren't colored for some reason. Whenever I see people do the Superstar Saga rando, they always have, like, these really cool colored Mario and Luigi's. They always have, like, an orange Mario and a blue Luigi and stuff, and, like, why couldn't I get those? I got, like, boring-ass red and green. I don't know if I did something wrong or what. But, don't expect Superstar Saga randomizer. Yes, I yelled at a kid. Because he was yelling outside, and I yelled at him back. So, yeah. Here's another game that I canned. Book of Mario 64. This one I canned a bit more out of frustration from people not showing up into VC. Because I'd always, like, I do this game on, like, Sunday afternoons, which to me is, like, a good time to do things. So I'd always want to get, like, at least, like, 5 or 6 people to the VC to watch me play Book of Mario 64. And we did half of the game. So what we did was, I'd get, like, you know, maybe 3 or 4 people in the VC. We'd play this game. We'd get some people to voice act it. Although I was doing most of the voice acting. And we would just read the story and stuff. And I was noticing a sharp, like, fall off in, like, audience retention by section 4. And, like, almost nobody was showing up to it. And I was just getting, like, frustrated because nobody was responding to my DMs and nobody was coming to watch it like they did with Book of Mario TTYD, like, a year prior. And so I was just getting frustrated, and I was like, well, if nobody wants to watch me play Book of Mario, I'm just gonna can the series, because I don't feel like doing it on my own. And so, yeah, I just ended up canning the series, so I don't know if I'm ever gonna go back to it. It wasn't as good or interesting as the first Book of Mario, honestly. So, yeah. Alright, so the next canned game is PvZ Hybrid Edition. Now, I'm putting this in the canned because me and Zach, we never finished this, and I don't know if we're ever going to go back to it. But this was fun for the, like, what, 6 episodes that we did it? And we got through, like, maybe, like, 40 or 50 of the levels, because there's a lot of levels in PvZ Hybrid. And it is fun, but it's also really frustrating, because it's just, like, got some insane difficulty to it. Like, you have to pick the correct plants that the game wants you to bring, and you have to get lucky, too, sometimes. I swear. And I don't know. When PvZ starts devolving into that, it just doesn't become that fun. I kind of like having some freedom in PvZ. Like, I like being able to kind of have a bit of, you know, choice in what plants I can pick. And, I don't know. But it is fun still, though, and I did enjoy the updates, too. We did update the game a couple of times. But you never know. We might go back to this. Who knows? Truthfully, I'd like to play PvZ 2 China Edition, but for some reason it won't let me make an account for that game, because I don't have a Chinese ID. But we're still trying to work that out. We're still trying to make an account for PvZ 2 China, and I'd love to play that, because it's just a weird phenomenon of a game. But yeah. And also, this game is also what made me discover that EA is fucking pay as shit, because they keep copywriting all the PvZ music for no fucking reason. I don't know why. It's like, what is EA is just annoying. Alright, here's another canned game, Garen Quest. We did 1 episode of this, and then we never went back to it for some reason. I don't know why. Especially with how funny the premise of this game seemed. I wanna see more Garen Quest, honestly, because of how funny it is. But Jose and Zeppi don't seem too particularly interested in going back to this for some reason. I don't know. It's on hiatus. It's canned, basically. But hey, you never say never. Maybe it'll come back. Maybe one day. But from the one stream that we did of it, it was pretty funny. So yeah. Yeah, instead of starting a new game, just finish a game that you already started. Alright, and the last canned game, I guess, is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Uh, I'm putting this in here now because he literally just told me about it. It's on hiatus now because he'd rather do Most Wanted instead. Which sure, I'm fine with that. But the episodes that we did do for it, it was pretty fun. It was just chill. We'll go back to Garen Quest. We'll do Most Wanted. Hopefully we set things right. Hopefully you guys can actually finish a game that you start for once. The 2012 version. Yeah, so Need for Speed, it's not, I didn't really care for the gameplay that much. I was just kind of there to chat and just like watch some crashes happen. So yeah, that's the canned games. There's only 7 canned games. There might be one more that I forgot about, but yeah. Alright, and now for the ongoing games. These are games that I started in 2024 and have not... Well, it's not games that I started, it's just games that are started in general. Games that we started in 2024 and we're going to keep doing in 2025 and we're going to try and finish in 2025. Funnily, the first game is Honey Pop 2. Look at this crusty image I have of Honey Pop 2. I might try and finish this game. I don't know. I started it in 2024 as kind of a joke, and then I kind of got bored of it and frustrated with it. But I did make a deal with Seb that if I do finish this game, he'll play Down Bad Edition. So I'm sort of motivated to play it just for that reason alone. But yeah, I also feel like it'd be fair because he played Honey Pop 1 all the way through, so I feel like I should play Honey Pop 2 all the way through. I don't know. Expect Honey Pop 2 on the channel maybe in 2025. Alright, the next ongoing game is Mario Wonders, as I call it. I initially started this game out with Zeppy. We did an episode. He didn't like it very much. So we kind of put it on hiatus. And then I started it up again with the boys in December. And we're thinking about trying to finish this game in 2025 probably. Because the squad we got for this game now is Aaron, Seb, and Dorian. And Dorian's Prince Florian voice is fucking hilarious. He sounds like a freaking, like, Fat Albert crackhead, like, impersonator or something. It's hilarious. I would like to get back to doing this game because the mods that we have for it are pretty funny. Like, we got Cody, we got Rosalina, we got Garfield and Wallace. And it's a pretty good time, honestly. So we're definitely going to do more of this game when we can get all of the boys together for the weekends. So yeah, expect more Mario Wonders in 2025. And from what I've played so far, it's a pretty good time. Speaking of games we need to finish, New Super Mario Bros. Wii Nightmare. I literally could not find an image of this online, so I'm just using my thumbnail. So, yeah. The thumbnail honestly speaks for itself. I do want to try and finish this game in 2025 as well. So I think there's only like a couple more episodes worth. And I think Zach still has this game on his computer. I know we invited Elijah for it. I think also Seb and someone else, I don't know. But I did sort of promise that I would like to try and finish this game with Zach eventually. It's just, I don't know when that's going to be. Apparently my phone's dying. I'm going to see if I can try and wrap this up before my phone dies. Because I don't feel like charging it. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to charge it right now because I'm going to go make lunch after I'm done with this. But yeah, Nightmare Wii is kind of crazy. It's like, it's the kind of shit that I'd make, honestly. Like, you're taking a Mario Wii level, and you're just, like, getting rid of all the platforms and putting some bullshit in it, like King Bills and stuff. And putting, like, a bunch of Koopalings everywhere. It's hilarious. But yeah, we might play more of that. Alright, the next ongoing game. Me and my girlfriend are playing through Danganronpa 2. That is a crusty image. I keep finding these crusty images. So far, there are a lot of things about Danganronpa 2 that I'm liking more than the first one. Honestly, I kind of fuck with the whole, like, island vibe of the game. Although part of it does make me miss the, like, kind of, like, quarantine school vibe, though, of the first game. But I think overall, I kind of like the characters more in the second game so far. It's like second game for the characters, first game for the vibes. I don't know. That's just kind of how I'm feeling so far, but to be fair, I haven't beaten Danganronpa 2 yet, so I don't know. But we are going to be doing more of this game. We're currently about to do the trial of the third case, or the third chapter. So we're like basically halfway through the game. So, yeah. But either way, expect more episodes of that. Me and my girlfriend, we always record it on Saturdays, and they usually come out like a couple weeks later. So, yeah, that's kind of why we record them, because it's just a comfortable time with me and her. But I am enjoying it. It is fun. All right, the next game that I would like to try and finish in 2025 is Tropical Freeze Co-op with Guncedo. We started this game earlier in 2024, around like the summer, and we have not done an episode on it since then because he's been busy. But hopefully when he gets back from vacation, we could probably do an episode on this game. I'd love to continue it because I still have like the first like 30 minutes of the second part on my hard drive, and we haven't done anything with it since then. And I'd like to play more of the game with him because, you know, truthfully, I want to play more games with him, but he's just not free very often, which sucks. But Tropical Freeze is fun from what I've played so far. It's definitely more of a beautiful game than Returns. And, you know, I can see why people say it's like one of the best 2D platformers of all time. And I've only played like the first world and a half. So, yeah. Alright, the next game is a game that me and Matt are playing right now called Mario 3 Mix. It's a ROM hack of Mario 3 with brand new worlds and stuff. And we've only done like 3 worlds so far, and it's like honestly super fun already. And it's nice getting to play Mario 3 co-op properly because I think I talked about it last year. Me and Zeppy, we tried to play Mario 3 NES, and that went terribly because of Nintendo's shitty online. And we never went back to it. So I kind of wanted to redeem that by playing Mario 3. So I decided to play Mario 3 Mix with Matteo, because I've never played 3 Mix before. But I do know that people have played this on YouTube before. Like, I know Vinesauce played it, and I think that's the only person I know that's played it. And yeah, it's pretty cool from what I played so far. And also, it's got Toad as a playable character, so that's also a nice addition. So, we're definitely going to be doing more of that, too, on the channel. Alright, and now, this one's not something I'm playing. More so, Zach is playing. But, Down Bad Edition. Paper Mario Down Bad Edition is a ROM hack for Paper Mario that I'm currently working on. It's been in process, been in the works since July of 2024. And I'm not expecting to be finished with it anytime soon. I wouldn't say it's in development hell, because I've been working on it, like, pretty much every day for the past, like, 5 or 6 months. Maybe taking, like, a couple day breaks every now and then, but I work on it literally every chance I get, every time I get the chance to, and whenever I feel like it. So, yeah. But yeah, Down Bad Edition is... It initially started out as just kind of like a joke. I know, kind of crazy, right? It started out as, what if I just modify Paper Mario, but I make Goombarius as Tattles? I make him horny for everything, and I make him rate the enemies on how much Riz he thinks they have. That's initially what it was going to be. And then it eventually turned into, like, this full-on hack, where, like, literally everything's different. Like, all the colors are different, and it's going to have a brand new story, and it's just... It kind of evolved into something wild. Something I was not expecting, honestly. And now I'm just working hard at it for, like, the past, you know, however many months. And, right now, at the time of December, I'm working on, Chapter 8. and I'm not expecting to be done Chapter 8 anytime soon. I usually finish like one chapter a month, but Chapter 8 I want to spend a lot of time on because it's supposed to be it's supposed to be the like final chapter, so I want to put the most effort into it, and then eventually I'm gonna go touch up the other chapters and write some more dialogue and stuff, and then maybe when that's all done, I might add a couple badges and stuff. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, that's Down Bad Edition. Expect to see that on the channel. It's gonna get mentioned a lot in 2025, I'm sure. And who knows, if I end up getting around to putting out a slightly finished build, Zach probably won't be the only one who's gonna be playing it. Luke might play it. Seb might play it. Elijah might play it. I'll just get everybody to play it because it's probably the most proud I've been of a ROM hack in a while. Like, because I've always made ROM hacks. I made 2 Mario RPG ROM hacks back in like 2016, I think. I made a Mario 64 ROM hack in 2017. I tried making a Mario World ROM hack, but I never finished that. Yeah, I've definitely, you know, taken a dip inside the whole ROM hacking community and even the fan game community to a lesser extent with SML RPG, so I've made my fair share of things. I've made 3 ROM hacks, 1 fan game, and now I'm about to make a 4th ROM hack, so my work is cut out for me. Alright, here's another ongoing series, Pokemon Infinite Fusion, which is another ongoing series with me and the boys. We started this back in like November, I think. I think it was November. Yeah. It's this. I think it was Seb's idea to play Infinite Fusion. He showed me. He showed me this game called Infinite Fusion, where it's just a bunch of Pokemon and they fuse together and make a bunch of crazy combinations and stuff. And he showed me, and it was kind of like a proof of concept. Like, what if we played this? And he showed me a bunch of stuff from it, and it started to get funnier as, you know, the more stuff he showed me. And I was thinking to myself, like, you know what? This would actually make for a pretty good series. And we decided to end up doing this instead of Black and White 2. And it's pretty fun. I'm kind of glad we're doing it. And I don't know how to play a Kanto game still, apparently. I still have to ask Seb, like, hey, where do I go? But that's okay. I'm just having a good time. We've beaten the 7 gyms, so we're actually getting kind of close to finishing Kanto, at least. Although we're probably going to do Johto as well, so it's going to be a process. But yeah, more of that in 2025. I don't know how long it's going to take us to finish. Alright, we're almost done. I'm getting pretty hungry, so I'd like to wrap this up soon. Alright, so the next game that we're going to finish in 2025 is Resident Evil 6 with me, Desmond, and Robbie. I originally thought I was going to play Resident Evil 6 with Zach, but Resident Evil 6 was kind of Desmond's idea, because he actually loves that game and he's played it before with Robbie. And it just felt like the natural next step, that after Resident Evil 5, I'd play Resident Evil 6. Originally, I was going to play Resident Evil Remake for the GameCube, but I think RE6 is a much better idea, honestly. And from what I've been playing so far with RE6, it's a pretty hilarious time, and it's pretty fun. And I'm surprised that it runs as well as it does. It seems like, you know, 2010s games, like, you know, RE6, RE5, Devil May Cry 4, like that kind of era of game, they seems to run pretty well on my computer. So I assume that if, you know, Konami ever released, if they ever released Metal Gear Solid 4 on PC, I feel like it would run pretty well on my computer, honestly. But that's besides the point. Either way, RE6 has been hella fun, and I love the co-op aspect, and the whole, like, your friends can join as a monster thing, that's also pretty cool. Robbie's done that a couple times. So, yeah. I don't really know what else to say about that, but yeah. We're going to be doing more of that game, though, in 2025, for sure. Alright, the last game to talk about that we started in 2024 is Donkey Kong Country 2 with me and Jose. This is another game. I talked about this earlier. I foreshadowed it when I was talking about DKC1. We were originally going to do a second stream of this in 2024, but I ended up getting my SSD put in, and I ended up having to can it with Jose, and so now me and him are trying to find another day to play this game, probably in 2025. And DKC2 is just like a really good game, and it feels natural that, you know, since I beat DKC1 with Jose, we would do DKC2 as well. And the one stream that I did play of it, it was pretty fun, and I'm making Jose play as Dixie Kong because he's not very good at the game, but it's gonna be fun. We're gonna work together. We're gonna get some dubs together. You know, he's already been kind of cooking at the, you know, mini games, so it's been a pretty good time so far, and I'm excited to play more of this. But yeah, I feel very like tired and lightheaded from all that talking. So with that. That is every single game that I played in 2024. That's the Minus Bros Wrapped 2024. So I'm really excited to see what 2025 has to offer. I have a couple of games planned for 2025. This will be the perfect time to talk about my plans for 2025. So, a few games that I have in mind that I want to try and play in 2025. Persona 1, Mario vs. Donkey Kong Miniland Mayhem is another one that I want to play. Me and Seb are going to play Superstar Saga Remake Co-op. More information on that when we actually start the series. I want to play probably another Kirby game. I'm honestly thinking I might play Forgotten Land. Forgotten Land is kind of been on my bucket list for a while. Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, definitely. Maybe a Sonic game, like I might play Sonic Generations or Sonic Advance 3, maybe. That's definitely on the bucket list there. What else? I would like to finally try and play Great Ace Attorney 2, because I kind of skipped out on that in 2023. So, maybe we could do that. Maybe I can finally play Twilight Princess, or I could play Zelda 2. I'm kind of not sure which one I'd rather play. But I don't really have a lot of game ideas besides that. Probably a Mega Man game somewhere in there. Those are definitely the ideas. Super Punch-Out is definitely one I want to play. So, there's lots of games we can play. And then obviously we're going to continue all of our party games like Trash and Insane Kart Wii and stuff. So yeah, those are my plans for 2025. I'm pretty excited. I mean, who knows? 2025 is going to have a lot of surprises too. There's going to be a lot of surprise reveals. Who knows? Nintendo might reveal their next console, which I might not buy. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what 2025 will have to offer. Expect a lot of planned games, surprise games, party games, games that friends play for me, all of that. So, yeah. As always, guys, make sure to like and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch, and I will see you in 2025. So, see you guys then.